So it is Wednesday. It is 9:04 p.m. and I've been waiting all week to be able to say this. It is now time to discuss in detail Total Nonstop Deletion. Plus, everything you come to expect from the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. We're talking about Smackdown, 205 Live, NXT, and Ring of Honor is going to be talked about. What Culture Pro Wrestling is going to be talked about. All that stuff is going to be discussed tonight and more here tonight on the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. Welcome, Jeremy Mills in chat. So Ashley has been having a lot of technical issues lately. If you haven't noticed, we've had some glitches here and there. Ashley's had a lot of problems. So if he does have issues, we will worry about those when we get to them. Welcome not only to chat is Jeremy Mills, but No Laura is in here. So welcome. Welcome to chat for the first time here on the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. We're also going to talk about Lucha Underground. We're going to talk Ultimate Fighting Championship, and there's going to be news and rumors from the world of professional wrestling. This show is uncensored. Granted, it sounds weird because I censor myself, but everyone else does not. So, yeah, myself and Ashley are going to be joining you for the next several hours talking all things professional wrestling. Now, if you're new to the network, you would see right away that we have a lot of content that is wrestling related here on this network, and that is the fact that every Monday we review Raw, and we do all the pay-per-views, and we're even doing Ring of Honor pay-per-views now, and we're going to be doing the United Kingdom 2-day tournament. That's going to be like a compilation video that's going to be covered in a podcast next month. But the thing about it is, we're also going to be covering New Japan. So yeah, Wrestle Kingdom 11. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be fun. Yeah, should be really interesting as we move on to another edition of the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. So, Ashley's not here right now, so I'm going to drop a couple of little bits of information that I have. This does completely jump against what we normally do, and that is the fact that we have some news. But first, before we get into Total Nonstop Deletion, which I've been waiting all week to talk about ever since I watched it, I will state right now that TNA has officially announced Impact will be returning to Soundstage 20, Universal Studios, Florida, and that is going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And we actually have official dates on that. January 5th to the 8th and the 10th through the 12th are going to be Impact Wrestling tapings, as well as on the 5th of January, a very special airing on a one-night only pay-per-view for the month of January. So if you want to go to these tapings, unfortunately, I'm unable to make it due to not being able to be there quite yet, but I will be able to be there when TNA tapes back in March, and they're supposed to tape in March. We'll have more information on that very soon. So if you go on Thursday, doors open at 6:30, show starts at 7. Friday, January 6th, same thing, same rules apply. On the 7th, which is a Saturday, there is a matinee show at 1 p.m. Door opens at 12:30, and the evening show is going to be that night at 6:30. Doors open, and the show starts at 7. There will be another matinee on January 8th, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. as well, with the doors opening at 12:30. And the evening show, same rules apply. Doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7. Tuesday, January 10th. The show is going to open the doors at 5:30. The show starts at 6. And on Wednesday, January 11th, the doors open at 5:30, and the show starts at 6 as well. Thursday, the show starts at 6 with the doors opening at 5:30. Times are subject to change. Obviously, the last time this happened, we had to deal with a hurricane, and that's the reason why we ended up having matinee shows and not just going through the entire week of tapings like they did. So that's the reason why that has been changed. So yeah, time subject to change. Changes can be found by going to impactwrestling.com or checking out at Impact Wrestling on Twitter. It is Soundstage 20 at Universal Studios Florida, and all tickets are completely complimentary, to be honest. So yeah, if you want to go to the show, it's completely free to go. And if you want to take advantage of a VIP experience, now there is a very limited number of VIP experiences available. The shoptna.com. It's $129. Get you priority seating to all the live Impact Wrestling broadcasts, and all the other events are going to be held in Soundstage 20. Obviously, we're talking about One Night Only. We're talking about Explosion. We're talking about anything and everything involving TNA and Impact Wrestling, and that's going to get you access to that. You're going to have a special VIP credential. There's going to be a commemorative event poster, and every night there's going to be a meet and greet with a superstar or knockout from the roster. And I will say right now that in the past, they have had everybody from Braxton Sutter and Allie, which was nice. I actually got to chat with them for a minute, to Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy and a lot of various superstars on the TNA roster. So yeah, if you want to be able to guarantee yourselves admission plus being able to meet a superstar or knockout, you want to get a cool lanyard, you want to get a poster, you just want to be able to be in the thick of the action, go to shoptna.com. It's $129. And if you have any questions about this VIP experience, you can contact Amy Zach, which is azach@tnawrestling.com. So now, there's a couple things I also wanted to talk about real quick. This is news for later, but I want to go into it anyway because I'm kind of waiting for Ashley to get here, so I wanted to break out a couple bits of news. The Hall of Fame, yeah, the 2017 WWE Hall of Fame is going to be going on sale at 10 a.m. on Friday, January 13th. Now, this is going to be at Amway, of course, in Orlando. Amway, of course, is going to be the site of NXT TakeOver, as well as Raw and SmackDown. And that Friday is going to be the Hall of Fame ceremony itself. So, yeah, Orlando is going to be having a lot of wrestling for that week. And yours truly, as well as a lot of the fine folks here at the Popcast Network, will be joining the festivities. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. So, yeah, I wanted to mention that real quick. And I want to talk about the TNA tapings before Ashley returned, and we get to finally talk about this week's Impact Wrestling. See, the thing here was I was supposed to be interrupted by Ashley, and then he would start talking, and then lather, rinse, repeat. But no. Having more technical issues, just because you see his face doesn't necessarily mean he's here yet. So yeah, we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything tonight. In the unlikely event that Ashley is unable to be here the entire show, we're going to have to change things up a little bit. So I'm not as prepared for that. I worked this week, so it's kind of hard to watch things. I did watch Total Nonstop Deletion, and obviously I did watch NXT, but everything else, unfortunately, I was not able to fully experience like I wanted to. I did watch a little bit of Ring of Honor. I didn't get a chance to finish it because circumstance beyond my control, which is basically the Wi-Fi just didn't want to cooperate. So the Fight TV app was null and void. But usually it works quite well. But yes, I do want to make mention that Ashley will be joining us soon. A lot to talk about Total Nonstop Deletion. Not only are we talking about the matches on the show, but we are going to be talking about Apocalypto itself. And I am very, very excited to be able to talk about this. We haven't really got a chance to discuss TNA in depth since the tapings that I was able to experience, the Bound for Glory tapings, and the shows that were before Bound for Glory, after Bound for Glory, and Bound for Glory itself, which I was fortunate to be able to attend. So yes, it quite looks like I'm going to be going to Bound for Glory and WrestleMania in the same calendar year. So yeah, that's what it sounds like at this point, as long as Bound for Glory stays in Orlando. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah, Go Sox Tim says poor DCC gimmick. I like the gimmick of the DCC. I do. I like James Storm a lot. I like Eddie Kingston a lot. Brand's okay. I don't mind him. He's fine. He fits the gimmick very well. What they did with them at Total Nonstop Deletion, kind of turning the gimmick somewhat into a joke, but there was a nice punchline at the end. Didn't make James Storm look terrible, so that was a good thing. I guess we'll see where we go from here. Obviously, we have more Hardy interaction on Impact this week, tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll talk about that next week. But we can't really talk about it now. So, yeah, basically, interesting thing about TNA right now, you say what you want about the company, but no one can deny that Broken Matt Hardy is the MVP of 2016 without a doubt. What Matt Hardy has done as a performer and reinvigorating himself and obviously reinvigorating Jeff Hardy as well. The Broken Matt and Brother Nero, the Broken Hardys have worked greatly to build TNA's audience and even brought up the ratings just a little bit. So people are very interested in what they're doing on a regular basis, including obviously the delete chant that is used about as much as the what chant is nowadays. So yeah, something very much looking forward to seeing continue. They struck gold. Matt Hardy struck gold with the Broken Matt character, and I'm very interested to see where we go from here. Obviously, TNA is not the only time we're going to be talking about Broken Matt. Oh no, Broken Matt decided he wanted to help Martin Kirby against Pachi Club in What Culture Pro Wrestling. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit later tonight once Ashley finally gets able to be on the show. But yeah, I like the idea of the DCC. I thought it was interesting. A lot of like aces and eights light, somewhat wearing the Jabberwockies masks. But yeah, it's just I thought it worked. I really did. Even though Eddie Kingston doesn't really get his just desserts when it comes to this, he doesn't really get noticed as much as he should. But I mean, I'm very glad he finally got a contract with a national company. He definitely deserves it. I was very happy when I saw him show up, and I didn't know who he was the first time. I found out who the DCC were that night, actually, when they debuted, and it was interesting. I was like, yeah, that does make sense now I think about it. So, yeah, it doesn't hurt that I had dinner at TGI Fridays with James Storm, too. So, yeah, I mean, you find things out every once in a while. So, yeah, that's how it works sometimes. But, yeah. I'll share with you guys. Ashley has been having a lot of technical problems lately. I do not know what the issue has been. His like technology just like sucks most of the time. So hopefully everything will be fixed so Ashley can join me for the remainder of the show. If not, it's going to be number one
again,
short.
And again!
Yeah!
And again!
I knew if I rambled long enough, Ashley would join us.
No, this is the fucking stalling bit. I'm still waiting for whatever the fuck is going on with my computer to work.
Yeah, your computer has become a problem lately.
I don't know if it's that, because other times it's like we've connected through pretty quickly and it's been okay.
Right.
We just sort of got the big shit thing, because the thing that caused sometimes the computer to go crap kicked in decidedly like 30 seconds after we started the live button.
Of course.
Sort of bullshit. It's something I do need to mention, and I know I was gonna mention it earlier, but it's something that I can shout in this shitty microphone on this tablet.
At least you sound all right now.
There sort of is no TNA for the next 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, there's the Hardy Family Christmas, basically, which is going to be airing tomorrow.
No, it isn't, from what I can tell. The press release that I believe came via P. Windsor, because it always does,
Of course.
said that tomorrow is a best of 2016 highlights thing, including Kurt's farewell and all that stuff.
Ah.
And then the final one of the year, obviously a week on Thursday, because, that's the final one of the year, is going to be just basically sort of indicating that what you won't be seeing in next week's best of is anything to do with the Hardys, because they're doing a show just dedicated to the Hardys, including apparently new footage that was filmed during the deletion tapings.
Right.
I'm sort of disappointed in the fact that I thought we were going to get multiple shows rather than just one 2-hour thing. Yeah. Did we ever see Grado against Joe Frazier?
If you look at Grado's Twitter, he said something about how he was basically rambling that the match was supposed to happen, but something made it impossible to happen. But don't worry, I'm still going to fight Smoking Joe.
And Peter came along and went, no, not doing that shit. Nah, not doing that. Nah.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, but there is a Smoking Joe sighting during Total Nonstop Deletion.
Yeah, true. So there's one sort of in the form of the flashback, but I'm trying to think if there's another one.
The Athletic Commission banned me versus Smoking Joe at Total Nonstop Deletion. After seeing this video, it will be resolved and will still happen.
There's an actual Athletic Commission.
This is Grado's words. This was piggybacking on a tweet that CNN put out, and it said, "This man smacked a kangaroo to save his dog." So yeah, the Athletic Commission banned the match from happening after the guy smacked a kangaroo to save his dog, apparently.
What?
Yep. I say only in professional wrestling, but it has nothing to do with wrestling whatsoever.
God, this wrestling commissions are pussy ass bitches. Confirmed. Fucking confirmed. You know, here's some guy, like, you know, the kangaroo's gonna fucking eat it. You know. You know, they say dingo eat your babies. Turns out kangaroos eat dogs. Who knew? They like South Korean. They like dog. I don't know.
Fair point. So it's no secret to anybody that has been watching the network for the longest time is the fact that Ashley is not the greatest fan of TNA.
No. And it's bloody weird. At the same time where I'm going, this was awesome, I'm also going, this is what TNA has had to resort to even be considered good, and that is do something that isn't a wrestling show. Which the weird thing is, in the week of shit that we have got, on the most part, from the other companies, bar probably not the indies, but certainly New Japan and the end of a bloody era. Which reminds me, I still haven't got those notes, so I'll be getting that when I've got the bloody computer fucking fixed. Just work, goddammit. But you know, it was actually pleasing. You know, it's the first time in like 2 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Bar, what was it? The NXT from 2 weeks ago, where I was marking out because everybody and their mother was on it.
Right.
You know, Damo and Kimberly and Ember Moon and.
This week's NXT had a solid main event, but we'll talk about that later tonight.
And then the one thing is, because I knew they weren't going to get anybody in Space and Time.
Yeah.
I sort of had a feeling there was going to be quite a lot of people from the places they've been working the past few months, which is obviously CWF Mid-Atlantic.
Right.
And PWX, you know, the two Carolinian show companies. And the thing is, we did see quite a lot of them.
Well,
but
yeah.
At the same time, some of them were treated like shit.
Well, here's another thing, Ashley, that I thought somebody that we would see during this, because it made perfect sense, was Marty Garner. Where was Champagne? Seriously, where was Champagne here? Where was Jason Hart and Champagne in this? Because if they wanted to do the Omega line, because that was brought up during the show, why not?
I think you'll find his half-brother Bucks Fizz interrupted Adam Pacitti on the Roadblock end of a line video from this past week.
Oh boy.
Still love that caption of the spray in the face and just brazzers. I think Pachiti's made that his Twitter profile photo right at the minute.
Probably.
It was about a few hours ago. So, fuck it. If I go into stereo during this, fuck it. When Owen was going to introduce me, I did have this whole thing, tonight's podcast contains language performed by untrained and unlicensed amateurs. Please attempt everything what you're about to hear. Thank
Nice.
you. By the way, no Jeff Jarretts were harmed during the making of My Gold. Then again, of course there were none, because I still have no fucking clue where it is, Jeff. Where's my gold? Please don't say that you're going to be doing a deal with the Fight Network, because, yeah, I don't want Fight Network gold. Please. I already get that from the law. God damn it. So we get the music video, which we already saw a few weeks back.
Right.
And something I didn't notice until it was mentioned, by somebody, probably Brian and Vinny.
Okay, that makes sense.
The music that Matt Hardy comes out to before the actual classical police,
It's his theme music.
Is all the theme music he's had ever.
Exactly.
Except not the Hardy Boys theme. It's just the Matt Hardy version 1.0 thing. It's like, god damn.
A whole lot of Monster Magnet in that, if you really pay attention.
Yeah. So we get all that, everything's getting prepared. And then we cut to WCAM Action News 7 special report.
Oh, this was great.
Yeah, who the hell they got to do these, like the new stuff? Actually, pretty good.
Not bad at all.
They're better than either bloody Great Caruso or Dasher, Prancer, something else Vixen. Can't even remember the order that they're supposed to come in. Yep, it's still not working. So yeah, death, doom, and destruction can only mean one thing. It's the holiday season in Cameron, North Carolina. That's how you open a show, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
Impending doom. It's Christmas. The thing is, if I'd have been writing this, I'd have gone, death, doom, and destruction can only mean one thing. No, it's not Black Friday anymore. It's the holiday season again. Oh, Gilbert Corsi, the anchor, says that the day of deletion is upon us. Residents have been warned to stay in their homes as the big tag team Apocalypto match is only a matter of hours away. And I'm going, it better not be hours away because this show's only 2 hours. For the first time in recorded history, however, seismic activity has been reported in the city of Cameron. Now, let's go to our eye on the scene Betty Sue Fuentes, who isn't even Mexican. Is that allowed?
Do you want to bring up the fact that the guy who Gilbert Corsi? I had to look this up. He's a ring announcer from Ohio Valley.
OVW ring announcer.
OVW,
Oh,
OVW ring announcer that is also works at the WDRB News and WDRB TV Fox 41 News. So he's a legitimate news anchor. That's even better.
What about Betty Sue Fuentes?
Looking into that. Continue. I'll have that information soon. Don't worry.
Betty's like, no, because we cut to like the report, and there is the worst fucking looking volcano in inverted commas. Yes. And in inverted commas, the size of the Empire State Building. Basically, all it is Jeff's fucking mound of, buried gash or whatever it is in his backyard. Except they've put a bucket in like a hole in the center and just basically got a fire or like dry ice, whatever, coming from it.
Right.
So it looks like a volcano that's erupting.
Jimmy Buffett would be proud.
So yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. We are standing in front of an active volcano that has appeared like RKOs from out of nowhere. Residents in inverted commas. It's like they don't live anywhere near fucking anybody.
No, not really.
Where are these residents coming from? And then she's like, "Sir, can I get your thoughts on the thing?" And holy fuck, it's Itchweed.
Yeah, it is.
So Itchweed is like, man, we don't need thoughts. It's gonna happen. We got tornadoes, we got hurricanes, and now we got a live volcano, man. Hey, before the Total Nonstop Deletion gets here, I need to do my yard work. Ah! And then starts revving up the weed whacker that he's got. And is mowing the fucking dirt around the fake volcano as Betty Sue runs off. Because apparently this weed whacker is just like fucking Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I never thought that'd be relevant, but we'll get to that later. Because she's gone. He just goes, "Oh, what's that?" Picks up the microphone and just stares at the camera and goes, "Back to you in the studio." Like,
thank you, Itchweed.
And now we've got a drone camera shot. I guess Vanguard 1 in inverted commas, whatever the fuck. And basically, I mean, I don't know whether this is a sign that the Pope, D'Angelo Dinero, does not give a fuck about the company anymore, but he's disappeared. Instead, we get Josh Matthews, who said, and I quote, "I have seen 30 minutes of this show, and it's better than any WrestleMania I've ever seen."
Oh, wow.
Please tell me the only WrestleMania that he's seen is that fucking shitty WrestleMania video game that came out on the fucking Game Boy Color.
Oh, wow.
Because that's the only thing that I could compare it to in terms of WrestleManias. Yeah. Even fucking this year, with all it being shit, wasn't as bad as this was. But it was it was like a bad. It was so bad it was good, but in the same sense, it wasn't. Either way, we're now inside apparently the Dome of Deletion. Key note: where's the fucking dome? I just see a roof. I just see a fucking barn.
It looks like an indie show you would see in the South. It looks like a National Guard armory, but smaller. It's a barn. It's exactly what it is.
Have you seen the PWG poster for Mystery Vortex 4?
I have not.
Go to PW Ponderings and look for the results. They've got the poster there. Basically, the Death Star is hovering above the bloody American Legion Hall.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Even that looks nothing like this. This just looks like somebody's put a wrestling thing in their fucking barn and charging people money. Who knows? So yeah. And instead of like getting Christy Hemme or Borash or SoCal Val or whatever to do the ring announcing, instead it's just like some like it's the voiceover guy from Crazy Taxi, just lower. He's like, now coming to the ring.
He's trying to be Jeff Katz when he was doing the NWO sold out pay-per-view.
Well, no, because it's got more of the rasp. So you know.
It's channeling your inner Harvey Firestein.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would have liked to see Harvey Firestein go, hey, get ready for some crazy taxi.
Someone get on that, please. My God, I want to hear that now.
So the Hardys come out. Fucking Senor Benjamin, for some reason.
No, this is amazing.
A Ribera Steakhouse satin jacket.
That is the first thing I noted on my notes. I was like, him coming out with a Ribera Steakhouse jacket's amazing.
So, of course, the fact, and this is something just has happened throughout. Just when they felt like it, the crowd just kept going, delete, 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 and just looked like fucking morons when doing so. And of course, it's Total Nonstop Deletion.
Yes.
I knew you'd come. Yes. Apparently, 50 of Matt's most loyal soldiers. The great thing is, I swear 2 of them must have been under the age of 12.
It's possible.
So Matt Hardy is doing child soldiers. He's using child soldiers. He's just like that fucking Coney 2012 shit that happened 5 years ago, or nearly 5 years ago. That means we're gonna get Broken Matt 2017. That's probably already a thing, though, to be quite honest. But all these 50 people, which, I don't know why they brought the 50 people, because it just made it look fucking terrible. I mean, it made it actually look like a TNA house show. Which may sound harsh, but it isn't. Because TNA house shows always had loads of seats and very few people. You could have fit a couple of 100 people inside their, hut and whatever. They didn't. They just brought 50 in just to make it look crap. Then he says, the entire city has been shut down because of Apocalypto. The 7 deities have told him that if he and Brother Nero do not prove that they're the best tag team in all of time and space, that the sacred land of deletion will be decimated. He and Brother Nero cannot allow that to happen. But he is there to give them all the show of a lifetime, to show them what the broken universe is all about. And tonight also marks the debut of the heir to the throne, King Maxwell. And then but then just as he's about to say, Rockstar Spud's music interrupts. And Matt's like, oh, you're definitely worth being deleted. And Spud's like, nobody's getting deleted tonight, especially not me. I'm sick of you and your brother and your stupid gardener and your pathetic drone. I'm sick of your bloody wife. But most of all, I'm sick of your greenhorn 1-year-old kid getting all my screen time. He's barely on the fucking thing. When he is, I just ripped the shit out of the thing.
Maxwell is more over than most of the TNA roster.
When this fucking kid turns 7, he'll be going, what the
fuck did you do to my life, Dad?
What the fuck did you do? Echo.
Might be fixed.
Oh my god, it sounds amazing. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah. It takes somebody like a 2-time X Division champ and future World Heavyweight champ. I'm trying to work out what company he's talking about for future world champ, because it ain't going to be TNA.
It could have been, but they didn't pull the trigger on it. The feud with EC3.
True, but, you know, I was thinking World of Sport.
Ooh.
That's if he can do that shit. I don't know. You know, Spud has to come all the way to stinking North Carolina to put all of it to rest. And wants Matt's stupid kid gone. And it's like the kid hasn't even had a match. And he's already more over than I've ever been. I want to be Maxwell's first opponent. And I guarantee I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to make sure he learns some respect for the business and make sure that he just ends no father, a loser. And Matt's like, you are sure you want to face King Maxwell instead of who you were scheduled to face? And Spud's like, yeah, of course. And Matt's like, then I will sanction it. And then for some reason, Spud goes, don't worry, I'll make the kid look good.
It looked good.
And when I'm done, you can push him to the moon just like any other promoter.
I laughed. I almost fell off my chair when I heard that.
So, a company that's doing something as fucking fake as Total Nonstop Deletion decides to just openly go, this shit is fake.
Pretty much.
Right? So why did we have the don't try this at home shit at the start?
Because that's been the case for Senior Benjamin the whole time. He's always done that.
Yeah, but this shit is fake. So why should kids try it at home? Fake.
Try it at your friend's house.
Just like Nikki Bella's tits. Oh, we'll get to that fucking shit.
Can we talk about important stuff now?
Oh, God.
Can we talk about
So
King Maxwell and his Escalade?
Matt's like, I want an official to come to the ring. Hello, official. You will be adjudicating it. In order to make this fair, the match will be no disqualification.
Uh-oh.
Fucking Josh goes, is that a good idea? Yeah, Spud's gonna beat the fuck out of a kid. This isn't Kenny Omega versus that Japanese kid in Japan.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure, if the State Athletic Commission can be angry against a grown man against a fucking kangaroo, you think they're gonna sign off on some brummy git beating up a child? Me think's not.
Nope.
So here comes Max.
Oh my god.
Maxwell. The best bit sort of actually is Rebby behind, just with like the arms behind her back,
Yes.
as if she's doing some sort of like regal walk, while at the same time handcuffed with Martin Kirby's love cuffs or something. And bloody Maxwell's is in one of those like fancy Mercedes-Benz toy truck things.
It's like a Power Wheels Escalade, basically.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know who the fuck is driving it.
It's remote controlled.
I was gonna say, because like, yeah, Maxwell doesn't have his hands anywhere near anything that could be driving this.
No, he does not. And he does not care.
And every time, the key thing is, every time you see him, there is nobody fucking there.
Nope.
Because obviously we've had to edit it because obviously Maxwell can't deal with a load of people.
No, probably not.
And then once the match starts, they manage to get a shot where Maxwell does the like arm swipe.
Yeah, the delete.
The delete, yeah. Upon this signal, Senor Benjamin shows up from behind with a taser. Tases Spud. Senor Benjamin's laughing in the corner. Maxwell somehow is on top of him, who I know is carefully being fucking held.
Yes, very much so.
By Spud. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And King Maxwell has won. And when he does, fucking Maxwell holds up one finger.
Yeah, he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, King Maxwell is fucking Goldberg. Maxwell is Goldberg. What the fuck? But then I thought that was the weirdest bit.
No,
no.
We
We cut to a backstage shot
Disco.
and fucking Disco Inferno is there going, man, I'm glad I didn't have to face Rockstar Spud. Let's play some poker.
That made me laugh hysterically because only like 15 people probably got that reference. My God, that was a great one.
What's the poker reference?
Remember Disco got busted for illegal gambling in Atlanta?
Oh, fucking vaguely, yeah.
Yep. This
Other
show was
point-
for nothing but people that pay attention.
Yeah, but the other point is, you never saw him fucking again.
Nope. He totally wasn't there.
He was just randomly for like a fifth. He was like Andy Garcia in Passengers. He was there, he was gone.
Yeah, that is a very true
Although,
statement.
unlike Andy Garcia, even though he was in it for seconds, his name didn't get in the fucking credits at the end. What's up with that shit? I'm in the movie for like 6 seconds and I get in the credits.
Yep.
Bullshit. Spoilers, everybody. If you do see the film, the bit where you see him in the fucking trailer, that's pretty much the fucking entire movie about him.
Yep.
Oh. So then we've got Lashley arriving via his truck.
He looks like he's arriving to a backyard show.
Let's be honest, he is.
He is, exactly.
And then fucking Edwards decided to traipse through the woods.
Because he's a wolf after all. Come on, Ashley.
Yeah, but
That's how I took it. I was probably not supposed to think that much into it, but that's how I took it.
So then,
Oh no.
Action News 7 is back. There's chaos in Cameron. Yeah. All the roads have been shut down. We're back to Betty at the scene, standing in front of these signs that say road closed to further enforce that the roads are indeed closed. Because they are closed. The roads, that is. The roads are closed. Can I say that enough? And then a truck rolls up. It's driven by Gregory Helms. With fucking, I don't know, Chewbacca and Harry from Harry and the Hendersons in the back, aka Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee. Their haircuts and hairstyles are getting more and more like they're not shaving on purpose.
There's a reason they call him the Carolina Caveman.
And then the news puts it as fucking the title card reads Helms Dynasty dash Local Roughneck.
Roughnecks.
What? And Helms is like, man, we got the best tag team in North Carolina history riding with me, and we're on the road to Apocalypto. So Betty's like, you do know that there's a natural disaster forming there. Fucking Gregory goes, hey, Betty, I'm something of an expert on that sort of thing. Now stand back. I'm coming through.
The inside references in this show are just like
Oh my god.
insane. Oh god.
So now we're outside House Hardy. Somehow it's gone from fucking night to day. I don't know how many people noticed that continuity fuck up.
Big money hustlers is all I have to say. Same concept.
And fucking Rock and Roll Express show up
Dear God, Ricky. Robert
in
Gibson's
their fucking
bald spot.
ring and everything.
Robert Gibson's bald spot.
What, my spot? Liver spot?
Liver spot. My dog spot.
Dog.
Ricky Morton wants
So
beer.
Matt's like, what? So Matt opens the door and he's like, what an absolute gift. And, you know, Matt says, I assume you are here for the deletion. And Ricky's just through it. We're the greatest tag team that ever lived. And Matt's like, you are here for Apocalypto then? Yes. I invite you then into my humble abode. Would you like some vegetables? Perhaps some green beans? And I think it's Gibson that goes, I love me some green beans. Well,
It was Gibson for sure because Morton says, I want to give me a beer.
Morton had the line at the end, you know, God loves crazy people. He made a fucking bunch of them.
Exactly. And
So then we're
Morton
back to
said he wants
Gilbert
beer.
Corsi, who's apparently somehow seen this. And he's like, wow, the Rock and Roll Express and the Hardys going one-on-one for the first time ever. And then, like, off camera, he's going, man, get my bookie on the phone. I need to put $200 on this. So we're back inside the barn. Fuck the dome, the barn. And Sienna's in the ring and says, I've been looking for Rosemary, but apparently she isn't here. And then Borash, as somehow in a straight face, if we saw his face, goes, Rosemary not here because she's got a lifetime ban from the compound for trying to abduct King Maxwell. What?
Kudos to JB for playing the best straight man in pro wrestling today.
The thing is, if nobody's fucking seen, I mean, they do sort of show it in like a flashback,
Right.
during the show. I can't remember when it was. They do show it. Just I guess in case anybody actually fucking has never seen this before, to add the context. I guess. So Sienna's like, you know, the reason why Rosemary isn't here is because she's afraid of me. I'm going to make myself #1 contender for the title. But I'm a classy lady, and I'll put it up for everybody in the world. And then fucking Vanguard 1 flies in.
Oh, this is great.
And he's obviously Terminator-style assessing the target. According to the note, she does have a fixation with teacup, Sienna. I don't know whether that's an in-joke to the whole pinkies up thing for drinking tea. If it is, that's fucking epic. But I don't think they would have thought of that. I think I just made it work. I just created the reference. I don't know. But then the ref is like, I'm not going to allow a drone to fight a woman. You're out of here. And Vanguard 1 saying, you can't toss me, bro. And then he's like, no, you're going. Get out. And then he said, you know, I won't censor it. He literally goes, this is bullshit as fuck.
Yeah, he did.
This is bullshit as fuck, man. So then Sienna goes, apparently, I need to be a little bit more specific. Any person in the world that would like to challenge me had better make their way to the ring before the referee calls it a forfeit. And then good old Borash again as the straight man goes, well, there are rules from the Athletic Commission stating that Sienna cannot take on Vanguard 1 because a woman is not allowed to fight a drone. Right?
Sure.
So Sienna goes, right, start the count because nobody's clearly answering. And outside is a fucking food truck.
Yep.
The door bursts open. Yeah, the bitch is back. Bam! Yep. Fucking ODB is back in TNA for one night only.
That was a nice thing to do, honestly.
Yeah. They didn't have too bad a match, actually.
It was all right.
Although there is... it is worth noting that for some reason we get the ref bump.
Yeah, that was very strange.
So Vanguard 1 flies in. You know, basically into referee mode and goes to make the count. But then now the referee, the original referee who's now recovered, is having a fight with Vanguard 1 going, I'm the official, I've got the shirt. I'm not going to be allowing it. And then the ref notices that, you know, Sienna's hit the silencer and is covering ODB. 1, 2, 3. Sienna wins, leaves and celebrates. And ODB is like, man, who gives a damn? Thank you for the attempted assistance, Vanguard 1. I'm going to motorboat a fucking drone. And then, of course, we actually get it from Vanguard's 1 point of view. I've never been to the Grand Canyon before, but I've got a basic idea what it looks like now.
Oh my god. Vanguard 1's Twitter is one of the greatest things ever. After this happens, it tweets out, my lens will never be the same. Let's celebrate after I blow up the Real Abyss and Tag Team Apocalypto.
I'm only playing this every time because this does feel like Lucha Underground gone weird.
Yeah, it does.
So now we've got the Helms dynasty approaching Matt. And Matt's like, Helms is what we're wearing, Helms, is even worse than that costume that you had for Tweet and Delete.
So many
And Helms
inside
is like,
references
this isn't
here.
and Helms is like, that ain't a costume. Trevor always looks like that. He's like, that's fucking harsh. Yeah, go against the guy that's actually got talent, Gregory. Yeah. And Helms is like, we're not here for your shenanigans. We're going from Alpha to Omega. You see what they did there?
Of course.
They want it to end where it all began. Apocalypto in the ring. And Matt's like, I'm having a premonition. Scribe. Scribe shows up. Good to see you, my friend. Tonight, at the Lake of Reincarnation, someone in their presence will enter, and it will be the most appalling reincarnation we have ever seen. And then Helm says, well, if you're talking appalling, it must be high voltage with his flat top and goofy glasses. We'll see you at Apocalypto, Matt. And Matt's like, and I cannot wait to render all of you obsolete.
So good.
And then fucking Itchweed makes his debut.
Okay.
Super fancy entrance on a ride-on lawnmower outside before walking out. I guess the lawnmower got destroyed somewhere with his weed whacker. And we find out that we've got the following contest will be under House Hardy rules. So I guess that means there are no rules.
Yeah, to say the least. This match has one of my favorite moments of Total Nonstop Deletion, without a doubt.
So yeah, Itchweed is taking on Chet Sterling. He's actually a pretty good wrestler. You wouldn't know that because all you fucking got here was a squash match, but a very weird squash match. The first bit of the note, I don't know whether this is the bit that Owen's talking about, but Itchweed manages to put a sleep on.
Yes,
Chet
that's
Sterling.
exactly what I'm talking about.
And Chet Sterling's like, oh man, I'm passing out. But at the same time, Itchweed is falling asleep.
Itchweed fell asleep while administering a sleeper. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
So much so that after Sterling's passed out, Itchweed Ric Flair face bumps into the mat.
The table spot.
Then for some reason we get a table set up outside, and he does, I guess, what you could describe as a diving senton.
Kind of.
I just call it he was drunk and just lost his balance.
Oh, he definitely looked like he fell into him. I can agree. But that was by design.
Because it wasn't done with any style or finesse.
No.
It was just like, I'm going to fucking fall on you.
I don't know about you, Ashley, but I'm pretty sure the gimmick Itchweed is on some sort of like high-powered Nate Webb drugs.
I'm pretty sure that's why there's 3 E's.
That exactly.
Either with a whole shit ton of weed, or there's a shit ton of ecstasy, One of the two.
Yeah, that's right. Or both.
Knowing Jeff as well, considering how he doesn't like to drink water, it can't be ecstasy. So it's probably weed.
And that is the biggest weed. That is probably like the biggest, most industrial sized weed whacker I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, he wins with the pesticide elbow.
It's just an elbow drop. Pesticide elbow is an elbow drop.
Yeah. So Itchweed now picks up his weed whacker and takes it to Chet Sterling's body. And we keep seeing these shots of like Itchweed going, yeah. At the same time, there's stuff like all flying up and everything.
I thought this was gonna go like Patrick Bateman.
And then we cut back. We cut back after we finished. And fucking somehow, Chet Sterling's attire, or at least his top sort of waistcoat thing, has been torn to shreds. But he's perfectly fucking fine. Does this mean that Itchweed is one of the best landscape gardeners the world has ever seen?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Meanwhile, during this entire thing, every time we see a replay, which is about every 20 seconds, we get some random fucking Jeff Hardy Inchweed exclusive Titantron graphic thing that pops up. No clue.
I mean, it had a very like, you know, what it kind of reminded me of when I saw the first thing. It had like the Batman vibe to it with like the 60s mentality, but it also kind of reminded me of like Super Troopers, like the Johnny Chimpo logo, basically.
Yeah.
Or like something you might see in Half Baked, potentially. It's like, oh, it's Itchweed.
So then we get so then we get the flashback of the flashback of the animals possessed.
Oh yes. This is
so now we've got now we've got Bobby Lashley and Eddie Edwards having their TNA World Title match. Spoilers, for all I fucking know, this match is still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on.
Because it was ruled that this match, you know, does not have a time limit. And it's at the ref's discretion as to whether it's like count out or DQ or whatever. As I say, spoilers, I guess we can call this a no contest.
Well, I mean, the big things out of the match, other than the fact that it was Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley, was the fact where Lashley ended up powerbombing Eddie Edwards into fans in the crowd and then legitimately spearing him through a door.
No, that wasn't a real door.
Oh, I know it wasn't a real door. But I'm talking about what they were trying to do.
Fucking polystyrene, motherfucker.
They went through a door. They looked like they landed hard as all get out on the ground. Then they started fighting in the woods, and then it was kind of like, "Hey, we gotta get Tag Team Apocalypto starting." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, as I say, we'll see them again throughout at some point during this main event,
right?
But the result of the match, who the fuck knows?
No one will ever know. No one will ever know who won this match.
So the rules for a Tag Team Apocalypto is the match must start inside the dome, the Millennium Dome, / the O2 Arena, Perhaps it's. Oh my God! Think about it. What was at the O2 Arena last Thursday?
WWE?
The British title announcement. It was a prophecy. It was a fucking prophecy from Broken Matt. The match starts inside the barn, but it's Falls Count Anywhere. And the match ends when only one team is left and everybody else has been pinned or submitted. Or, spoilers, death. But we'll get to that. So, obviously, the Hardys are out first. It's now time for Apocalypto.
Oh,
so
I
then
love this.
We've got the Helms Dynasty, then the Rock and Roll Express, and then Decay. And they come out, head to the ring. And then klaxons start going off. And it says, Apocalypto has begun. Everybody must evacuate the property. We've got smoke, we've got flashing lights, we've got all sorts of stuff. The fucking soldiers are screaming out the place. Because the brawl's, going crazy.
Oh, this is great.
It starts in the ring. And then everybody fucking runs off. To various places, I guess, on the Hardy household. So then we have Eddie Edwards being choked out randomly by Lashley in a field. So then we're somewhere else. And Matt says that they were all teen heartthrobs at one time, but for one last time, let's show them that babyface fire. As they give them giant fucking Roman candles. And Ricky and Robbie, it's just like to them, it's fucking Christmas.
Oh my God, you gave Robert Gibson fireworks. That's not a good idea. Ricky Morton giving fireworks is the worst idea.
Helms Dynasty does the wise thing and runs the fuck away. And Abyss is just, oh no, not again. So the Hardys and the Rock and Roll Express are just firing the fuck out of these Roman candles. Abyss actually getting hit on the back a couple of times with them.
He got hit in the face.
As well, yeah.
That was bad.
Helms managed to get the Dynasty to this truck. And Helms is already like, fuck it, we're out of here. Everett's basically inside with Gregory and Trevor Lee's in the back. But then Matt shows up. So as the truck drives off, Matt and Trevor are having a fucking fight in the back of the truck as it's driving.
It's back to uncensored 1995 all over again.
So then Everett manages to somehow get out, or trying to get out, and attack him. And Matt's trying to fend off both of them. So then a referee is like, I guess, watching this somehow as they're pulling away. Like, what the fuck is happening? Jeff shows up and basically says, we got to catch him. It's the only way to know for sure. So Jeff gets his dirt bike, gets the ref to go on the back with him, and then they speed off in pursuit. By the way, so now we're outside the gates, apparently, with a whole bunch of people waiting. And Decay are waiting at the gates, and they're going, oh, this is going to be beautiful. Now back to the Hardys and the Helms Dynasty. Dynasty getting thrown into road signs. some fucking tanker truck drives by with its horn going, and I'm going, is this fucking Joel? Is this the fucking truck from Joel? So
I can
now
only-
the bruiser waits.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I can only imagine what this guy that drove by seeing these guys fighting and people and the camera following them, what he was
I don't
imagining
even
when
know
he
if that's
actually
real
saw.
or whether it was actually. I don't know whether that was real or whether it was actually a dual moment.
No, I'm positive
As
it
in
was.
they
It
were
looked real.
Yeah.
Okay,
So now
first,
the bruiserweights are coming in through the gates,
John
apparently.
Skyler and Corey Hollis, fresh from NXT.
And Steve manages to apparently throat chop, I think, Skyler.
I believe so.
So hard, followed by a chokeslam from Abyss, that apparently Crazy Steve broke the neck of the fucking guy.
No, he did a literal neck twist and broke his neck. That was the visual aid we got.
And somebody somebody outside the fucking gates went, "Man, your boy dead." Like, what?
Yep.
And so Abyss is like, "I'm still hungry. What's the next course?" So we're now outside the gates again. Even though we're just fucking there anyway, because that's where Decay are. Now nowhere to be seen. And Rockstar Spud's looking at his watch like, come on, where is he? And then the Bravados show up, and I'm like, what are talented people doing on this fucking show? Damn it. And they're like, is this the line for Apocalypto? And he says, of course it is. Who the hell are you? And they introduce themselves. And Rockstar Spud's like, I have no clue who you are, but when my big bad partner gets here, you'll be the first to go. I'll be off with you. So now the Hardys and the Helms dynasty are brawling shop. And then there's one bit in which the referee gets hit by Helms for not counting the 3 count quick enough or something. Matt's getting choked out by Trevor Lee, and Helms goes, man, I saw some of your merch in the antique shop, Matt, on the clearance rack because nobody wants it.
So good.
And of course, Everett goes, someone named Jeff is an antique. There's no way to speak of Jeff Foxworthy. So now we've got the Ugly Ducklings, who appropriately, one of them gets caught in a crossface chicken wing because it's ducklings. Another one gets grabbed by the throat. Another one leaps off the gate, but gets him in a chokeslam move and double chokeslam on both. Of course, the bloody Decay go quack quack. And all 3 get pinned at the same time, I guess.
Are we mentioning
Then
the
we've
fact
got
that
a fight where a train goes by honking.
Are we mentioning the fact that Colby Carino was one of the one of the Ugly Ducklings here?
I mean, I would, but you know, I guess he spoke with Itchweed too much.
Ooh.
Shut.
That's why Matt Seidel's back on U.S. soil.
You saw what they're calling him now, haven't you?
No, I haven't actually.
He isn't reborn anymore. He's released.
God.
Yep. We'll get to that. So yeah, some train goes by honking. Yeah, it's like Matt's biting, Gregory's face. They're all fighting. So now Decay go back to the gates And somebody says, man, I don't want to go in there. And of course, he gets dragged in and gets knocked out. And his tag team partner just like, ah! And runs away. So then now comes showtime, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know,
PWX.
they and Decay have a brawl. Meanwhile, the Bravado sneak past them. And now Abyss and Crazy Steve see two basically larger guys. One with a mask. And so, of course, they're like, they're us, the bastards. So Crazy Steve poison mists the unmasked guy. And then Abyss kicks the masked guy in the balls. Crazy Steve bites non-masked man's forehead. Then Abyss grabs a giant boulder practically, says, man, it's heavy, and smashes the head of the guy with the mask.
Yes, we just saw a man get killed by a rock on television.
We have seen multiple murders on a wrestling show.
Yes, we have.
Somebody stealing shit from Lucha Underground. So Rockstar Spud's still outside waiting for his partner. And he's like, you know, I want to fight you. And Abyss is like, come on then. It's like, no, I'll wait until my partner arrives. You know, he's a lot bigger than you. You're next, Crazy Steve. And it's like, oh my God, he's here. We got a commercial. And then when we come back, of course it fucking is. Rockstar Spud's partner is the artist formerly known as Horn Swoggle.
This was great. I'm surprised it took him this long.
Swoggle and Abyss. Swoggle and Abyss go face to genitals. Basically. Head to head, if you will. And Spud's like, come on, man. And they just run off. And Abyss is just like, what the fuck is this shit? Now the Hardys and the Helms dynasty are for somehow back at the bloody Hardy compound. For some reason. And then they're now fighting near the lake. And Trevor Lee basically is just about to pin him. And it's like, it's all over. This is the end. The end of the world is coming. 1, 2. And fucking Skarsgård, the dilapidated boat, breaks up the pin.
Oh my God. He didn't break up the pin. He literally launched.
So now the fucking dilapidated shit beat out of it by the Helms dynasty.
Hold on. We cannot not mention Shane Helms' brilliant line. Guys, kick that boat's ass.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
very
I
true.
almost fell out of my chair. So they did just that. They literally beat up a boat on television.
And then Helms turns around into Broken Matt and goes, why are you desecrating Skarsgård? You need to change your attitude. And then shoves him into the lake.
Yes. I love this too.
And then Matt and Jeff look around and then go, Lake of Reincarnation, how could you? I've never seen you produce such a revolting result. And fucking Trevor, Andrew, and Shane have become 3 Count 2.0.
Oh my God, they have the green circles and everything.
Yeah, the circles and everything. And then, of course, Shane's like, hold on, this ain't right. Shannon and Evan were way more talented than these two fuckers.
I mean,
So Everett and Lee. What?
Well, hold on. So here's the thing, Ashley. If you really want to do the Lake of Reincarnation, and we're in this broken universe, why not kick all three of them into the lake, and then all of a sudden, literally, Shannon Moore, and Evan Correa just pop out of the water, and nothing is explained the rest of the show.
So then Lee and Everett double super kick Helms back in there.
Yep.
Then randomly the fucking Bravado show up from out of nowhere. And I guess they get in the brawl. Including the Bravados picking up the bloody green circles and smashing them over Lee and Everett's heads. So now we're outside in a four-cornered ring. And the Rock and Roll Express call out the Hardys. And the Hardys are like, it's reality. Cue somebody like putting something in the volcano because that suddenly goes crazy.
It was Mentos.
And they actually have somewhat of a decent little brawl between them, actually, weirdly.
Are we going to acknowledge the fact that the Hardys were openly marking out on television that they were getting to work with the Rock and Roll Express? It's just awesome.
It was only fair. But at the same time, this was the actual match that people wanted to see, and they were sort of treating it for a bit like it was an actual match.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of lockups, a lot of arm bars, a lot of wrist holds.
So now we're back to Lashley and Edwards. Yeah, we're back to this. So they've done that stuff. So then Trevor Lee, I guess by the Bravado, is sent flying into a porta potty. Comes a referee. I don't know whether this is supposed to be a fucking rib at Jake the Snake.
Probably.
Going, what the hell is going on? Then Harlem is thrown into the wall of the barn. And they do some actually, fancy spots like they can do because both these teams are good.
I love the double roll up too. It just looks so crisp.
So basically, they get into the entry door, Lee and Everett, and close it up. And the referee demands that they open the door, they'll be disqualified. So, of course, they leave it until 4. And I swear one of them should have said, we've got till 5, ref. Didn't.
That would have been great.
So then the Bravados and Lee and Everett now are fighting back again inside. Except now we've got Matt and Gibson in a Matt's got Gibson in a sleeper hold in a ring. Now for some reason, fucking Jeff and Ricky Morton are in fucking cherry pickers.
Oh, this was great.
Trying to fight. And once we're back from break, the cherry pickers are basically next to each other, although elevated in the air. Doing sort of crazy shit. And there's one bit with, there's a lot of crazy shit going on. Matt eventually manages to somehow get messing with the controls with the skylift with Ricky Morton.
Yeah, he leaves Ricky Morton trapped.
Yeah. Matt's like, you are an angel now, Ricky. And Morton's like, stop. I'm fucking high enough as it is.
Shoot!
Both literally. So then we got the Bravados and Everett and Lee going at it for somewhat of a match. Now we're back outside. Morton's stuck up a high. Bloody Jeff gets out of his basket and goes for a slow motion swanton bomb, which Gibson manages to get the way out of just in the nick of time. But Matt hits him with a twist of fate. 1, 2, 3. The Rock and Roll Express are gone. And Matt's like, "Can you stand, Brother Nero?" And he's like, "Yes." It says, "Ricky, welcome to the darkness of deletion." And all the lights go out, and Morton's like, "You broken son of a bitch! Let me down! Please let me down. I'm scared of heights." And it's like, because he said, like, I'm scared of heights and everything, I'm wondering, Chris, did you borrow this?
See,
now, like, Lee and one of the Bravados are dead. And then Andrew Everett manages to lariat, or gets lariated, sorry, by the other Bravado. So all 4 guys are laid out. All of a sudden, Spud and Swoggle show up. Swoggle grabs a chair, beats the shit out of everybody. But then Spud pins one of the Bravados to actually get the win. So Spud's celebrating and he's like, "Yeah, we've won! We've won the titles!" And Swoggle's like, "Nope." And Spud's like celebrating even though there's nobody in the fucking building. Swoggle power bombs him. Then goes up to the top, gives him the tadpole splash. Just signals to Everett and Lee and goes, "He's all yours." Everett covers him. Spud and Swoggle are gone. More fighting between Lashley and Eddie Edwards. Again, nothing happens from this. So then we cut to Ricky Morton still up in the crane, demanding to be let down. And then fucking Road Warrior Animal shows up and says, "What did Matt get you into this time?" And Morton's just like, "The joke's over. Just let me fucking down." Which makes me wonder whether they actually just put him up there on purpose. I don't know.
Ricky can't do anything if he's that high up. I do like a couple of things, too. They mentioned the Night of the Skywalkers, which is hilarious given the fact that the Road Warriors were the ones that faced the Midnights and it wasn't the Rock and Roll Express. They did have a scaffold match. The other one was when Matt called Jeff a spot monkey.
Yeah. So now we get Abyss and Crazy Steve leaving, except a member of the DCC appears. And the gate opens and says, "Came alone then." And a large number of men show up, all with masks, surrounding it. And the actual DCC member backs off. And there's a giant fucking fight. And then the person comes forward and says, "I'm about to be all over you as like a spider monkey." And then another hooded man says, "Don't worry, I've got him." And it's James Storm. And then this other person says, "Don't worry, I've got it." And unmasks himself. And then Storm unmasks himself and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And the fan's like, "I heard it on the scanner, this is going down. And, you know, when you're DCC for that." And then he gets chopped in the throat. Abyss goes face to face with Storm while having a foot down on the dead guy's chest. And DCC have been eliminated. And Storm's like, what? He's not... I don't even know who the fuck he is. He isn't my tag partner. And the ref's like, look, he arrived with a mask on. He must be part of the DCC. He's been eliminated. And the ref just runs the fuck. The ref runs the fuck away. And Storm gives the guy that cost him the tag belts the last call super kick.
Did you think that guy looked familiar to you?
Was it Jushin Thunder Liger?
No. I actually looked into it, and apparently, you remember the truck driver that got attacked during Deleter Decay?
I guess it made sense with the scanner thing.
That was him. Yeah, he was talking about his truck scanner. So yeah.
So yeah, that's your only contribution with James Storm. Fuck this company.
Oh, then
So
more
now
fun
we're back
happens.
to the fucking volcano. Abyss and Matt are fighting. Jeff and Steve are fighting, and Eddie Edwards and Lashley suddenly show up. So then the volcano is releasing flames.
I don't think that's how that works, but okay.
Nero's about to finish off Crazy Steve, but then the volcano erupts. Everybody flies back from the shockwave. And then Skarsgård's at the Lake of Regeneration watching on. And a green bolt of light emerges from the lake in front of Skarsgård. And holy fuck, the hurricane is back.
Yep.
Holy betrayal! There will be a reckoning. Like, back to Action 7. Gilbert Corsi's saying, ladies and gentlemen, this may be my last broadcast with you. I never believe I'd die at a news desk. The fate of the land of deletion, along with all of Cameron, North Carolina, is in the hands of the Hardys. So now we're at the volcano. And Abyss spots Everett and Lee and says, you take care of Matt. We'll take care of Jeff. So now Lee and Everett are in the graveyard. Everett tries to throw Matt inside at one of the crosses, but Matt reverses it. Lee grabs a cinder block and raises it, lifts it up, ready to swing. But Matt kicks him with a gut. Everett then stops him off. And then Lee's attacking Matt with a pipe. Another tombstone gets destroyed. Now we're at the volcano. Where basically with the ring. And then Abyss is looking for Janice. And then gets Nero a Roman candle. And Steve shows up, takes out Brother Nero. And then Abyss notices Vanguard 1 is in battle mode. Starts firing fucking more Roman candles at Abyss. This is the one that I think hits him on the face.
Yes.
But then Abyss grabs the Roman candle, tries to fight back, but can't seem to connect. So it's basically they're trading shots between the two of them. Back to the Helms Dynasty with Matt. They've got shovels now and a stalking mat. Raise them above their heads and go, this is how we're going to delete. But then Hurricane grabs the shovels out of both of their hands, throws one to Matt. The two swing, clobber some. I don't know if it was Lee or Everett they clobbered, or both. But Hurricane goes, looks like this dynasty is broken. And Matt's like, delightful to see you on the right side of the world again. Matt and Hurricane pin them, and then bury them
Quite
in the graveyard. Yep. And Matt goes, because of the burial, Matt goes, even the man with 3 H's would be proud of how we buried these young, promising talents.
And they did
Before
a Bill
they
Jacobson
just do a
thumbs up.
smile, thumbs up, and wink at a camera.
That was so great.
Because they fucking know that Paul is watching this.
I will give them credit as well, because Helms was wearing the only Hurricane gear he has that's not copywritten. He was wearing his Highway to Helms gear. So I thought that was done well, too.
By the way.
Of course.
So, we're outside the Hardy house. Lashley and Edwards are going at it. And then all of a sudden, Swoggle shows up.
Oh, this is great.
And Swoggle spears Lashley. And Lashley no-sells it. And Lashley's like, what the fuck are you doing? And at the same time, Edwards leaps off the Porsche and takes him down. That's the last we ever see of them. Who knows what happened? So, Abyss and Crazy Steve are in the lawn being stalked by Nero. Vanguard 1 lights the flames, or lights the grounds on fire in the shape of the Hardy symbol. They beat the fuck out of each other. Matt manages, Abyss basically goes to charge Matt with Janice, but Matt manages to kick him and grabs Janice for himself. And Matt goes, this is going to sting a little, and then smashes it into Abyss's gut. Now on the volcano, Steve and Jeff are still fighting. And Steve's like, it's time to render you obsolete. Jeff kicks him in the gut, twist of fate. But then the recoil sends Crazy Steve into the mouth of the volcano, which shakes and smokes and erupts. And a huge fireball goes up. But that fireball is actually Steve, who lands in the ring, burnt out the fuck of him.
It looks like
Matt
Diamond Dallas Page in Ready to Rumble after he goes through the triple cage.
Matt covers him. 1, 2, 3. The Hardys retain the belts. The end of the world is not nigh. But wait, there's more. Because the Hardys are celebrating their victory. You know, if it's Matt, Jeff, Rebby, Vanguard 1, Maxwell, and Senor Benjamin. And Matt's like, the land of deletion has nearly been annihilated, but the 6 of us will be rebuilded. And then Rebby goes, you mean 7, Matt? And he's like, you're pregnant? Wonderful! And at the same time, I'm going, so you don't give a fuck about Skarsgård, the dilapidated boat? Because I'm pretty sure if we're talking about that, that's already 7.
Yeah.
So what you meant to say is 8. For real this time. This is actually the end.
This show, if you like the Broken Universe,
and that's the last thing that Challenge TV ever showed of TNA. Possibly. Because it isn't listed for Christmas Day. From what I can tell. But what a way to fucking go out. What a fucking way to fucking go out. I know we spent a long time talking about this, but it truly is like the best thing that's happened in wrestling in the past couple of months.
Yes, easily.
bar like, you know, New Japan stuff and indie stuff, but apparently it's still available to view on Pop TV.
Yeah, that's how I saw it.
Don't worry if you're not in a place that's region blocked. There's plenty of other places on YouTube and other websites where you can probably be able to see it if you did miss it. One thing that did come out of the news, apparently UK fans are going to have to download an app in order to watch any future Impact episodes. Except for the app, they have to pay like $2 or £2 a month.
Wow.
This from a company that was providing its TV show for free for the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. That app isn't going to be bought. People are just going to go to the illegal places.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I will say about the app is once it's finished broadcasting on Pop in America or whatever, it's on the app.
Oh, nice.
So fans don't have to wait. So if it's a live episode, like I believe obviously not the pay-per-view, but the one is in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Or like sort of live or close to live as damn it. That will be on the app basically as soon as the show is done. So it sort of is sort of like a Netflix sort of on demand. You know, as soon as it's aired, it's available for people to buy. Or, you know, people to see on their subscription or whatever. Me, I'll just be getting it for free like I always do.
This show.
Because, you know, I haven't had to pay for the last few years. Why should I keep fucking paying? And they can't be asked to come on tour to here. They can't be asked to go to India, despite contractual obligations. I can't wait until we get like the news that they suddenly go, yeah, Pop TV's dropped them, like on a week's notice. Like, wow, shit. But there we go. Whoop, there it is.
This is one of the
bottle of water because I need to get a bottle of water because I've nearly lost my fucking voice.
So while Ashley gets water, let me mention right now that, like I said at the beginning of the show, if you are loving the Broken Universe, this was your WrestleMania. Really. This is like the WrestleMania for the Broken Universe. This was just out there in every way possible and in all the great ways. And TNA really knocked it out of the park here. And that's the reason why Matt and Jeff have creative control with their characters at this point, because the broken brilliance, pun completely intended here, is just staggering. It's just so many great things came out of this. And so many inside references. If you've been a longtime wrestling fan, if you've been a fan of the Hardy show, you definitely got a lot of more out of it than most people did. It was nice seeing a lot of people pop up out of nowhere. I love what they did with everything. It was an entertaining night of action. It wasn't the greatest wrestling show, but it didn't have to be. This is something you can just sit back, turn your brain off, and just enjoy yourself. And when you are critiquing wrestling like we do every single week here on the Popcast Network, it's nice to just sit back and enjoy yourself for a while. It really is. And we can talk about ROH, and we can talk about Japan, and we can talk about the indies, but sometimes it's fun to just delete everything from your mind and just enjoy yourself. And that's exactly what this show is all about. And it still bothers me to this day that WrestleMania weekend is when the Hardys and the Young Bucks are going to face off in Ring of Honor. And I have prior commitments and I cannot make the show. But yeah, kudos to everyone involved. Kudos to everyone in TNA. Anybody that was a part of this production just knocked it out of the park. Total Nonstop Deletion, A+. I cannot wax poetic enough about this show, honestly. It beats the daylights out of anything I've watched this week. And that's not just wrestling. But we're going to move from TNA almost 2 hours later. But then again, the funny thing about that is we talked in depth about Total Nonstop Deletion, and that's what I promised tonight. So we're going to go from Total Nonstop Deletion, and now we're going to go into the world of WWE. So let's go into Smackdown Live. Why is Deadpool in front of me?
Time for the review.
What?
What? Where's
my fucking weed whacker?
Oh shit!
Oh shit! I mean my blunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Deadpool. Wow, Deadpool here on the Popcast Network, giving you a front perspective of what happened with me and Assassin's Creed about 2 hours ago. Anyway, now don't watch it. Just don't waste your time. So yeah, Ashley.
Oh, it's a video game movie.
Oh, I don't care. It was a terrible movie. Don't watch it.
The weird thing is, from what I've heard of the reviews for it, it's actually pretty accurate to the first game. As in, the historical shit's awesome. The rest of it's fucking nonsensical.
I was just super bored with it.
But there's enough promise to actually be a somewhat decent sequel, just like Assassin's Creed 2, the game was.
Yeah, it has one of the most abrupt endings I've ever seen in a movie this year.
Ooh.
Buyer beware, because
Is it so abrupt? Is it so abrupt? Does it need this music?
well, no, that would reference it's going to make enough money to get a sequel.
Oh shit!
But Michael Fassbender and Marion Cotillard, Michael Kenneth Williams, Brendan Gleeson, and Jeremy Irons cannot save this movie. And real quick, before we go on to SmackDown, let me say that if you're planning to watch Assassin's Creed and you're looking to see what the runtime is, I can assure you that any runtime that you've seen is wrong.
Hang on.
That movie was was a shade under 2 hours long. And most places are having it at 2:15, 2:20.
Hang on. Let me go to. I don't want to fucking poo-poo you.
Well, I just watched it tonight.
No, I get that, but because I like to know how.
My guess is got a long
got delayed by 15.
Right.
The computer system didn't fucking start. So we had no adverts and no trailers, and we actually got the film starting early. By chance. Good. I think the running BFC listed was like 116.
That would be right then.
About sort of the same time as Passengers. Let me have a quick look. Let's bring up my
I was bored with
file.
both. We need to talk more about wrestling and not movies tonight.
Fuck it. I don't even need to get drunk. I've just deletion. Assassin's Creed. Yeah, 115.
Yeah, so most places around here are saying that, as a matter of fact, I look at it right here where I see it, and it says 2 hours and 20 minutes. That is definitely incorrect.
Don't worry, I'm going to have to sit for 161 minutes of silence. Not literally.
Oh, I wish I could. We have to wait a while for that one.
Oh, trust me, I'm fucking jealous because I want to see Handmaiden, is it? The South Korean film everyone's gushing about. We don't get it till February. Fuck it. So Smackdown, the Down of Smack.
Yeah, we're getting our WWE time here on the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. So let's talk about SmackDown. The
We start
long-awaited
off with
AJ Styles, James Ellsworth.
Start off with AJ versus James Ellsworth. Straight from the off. No breaks are given. And so Ellsworth's like, wow, I'm looking forward to this. Gets booed by Detroit. AJ's introduced. They're fucking cheering. The great thing is Ellsworth goes for the Sweet Jim music. Styles blocks it. Back out of him with like a couple of punches. And Styles pins him. So AJ's won in seconds. Well, there's that storyline gone up the fucking shitter. So Styles gets his belt and he's like, no. And basically destroys the fuck out of him. And the great thing is the crowd are like, yeah, destroy the fuck out of him. And he's like, I apologize, WWE Universe, for you having to watch that. No, wait, I don't apologize. It's been a long time coming. So then Ziggler shows up and says, you know, there's one thing you forgot, though, before you focus on 2017, and that's me versus you next week. And Styles is like, man, you know, taking you on as a cakewalk. The best thing about you is that you lose. And Ziggler like, well, that's rich coming from the guy that took 4 times to actually beat James Ellsworth. So, you know, they're arguing about, and AJ's like, you put your entire career on the line a few months back for a shot at the IC title. Went through hell, came out on top. So what are you willing to go through to get your hands on the belt this time? So now fucking Baron Corbin shows up, and I'm like, fuck you. Fuck. And Corbin's like, it should be me versus AJ, not Ziggler. You know, how many chances are you getting, little man? And Ziggler goes, look, you may be new to around here, but you don't get chances, you earn them. You know, I earned my title shot, you were taking a week off, and said, and Corbin's like, the only reason I wasn't around is because I was picking up the fucking metal award. And I'm like, when the fuck are you ever metal? You're more like ice cream. You just melt. And they get into basically a fight, Corbin and Ziggler, and AJ's like, yes, Jedi. So then Daniel Bryan's backstage trying to calm Ziggler down, and Ziggler's like, I want Baron Corbin. And Bryan's like, all right, but I need to add one thing. If you lose, Corbin gets your shot at the title. And we're going down without a fight. So now we get into more storyline shit from Tribute to the Troops. Because it's the title match between Apollo Crews and the IC champ The Miz, where they show Fluffy from Tribute to the Troops. These two have pretty good match, actually, thanks to some rake of the eyes without the referee seeing on a skull-crushing finale. So then Renee gets in the ring and says, you know, what's your obsession with Dean Ambrose? And Miz goes, I'm the one with the obsession with Dean Ambrose? Hell, you're the one that's sleeping with him. I'm like, wow.
The first time that's
Not
ever
only
been
are we going
referenced on
fucking
TV.
Daniel Bryan, Not only are we going meta on Daniel Bryan now, we're going meta on Dean Ambrose. And Renee just like slaps him in the face and walks off. And it's like, holy shit! We got an interviewer that's got fucking emotion and a fucking character. Holy fuck! I wanted to motorboat my Vanguard one. So then they show Zack. And then the scar on his knee after his surgery. So we're getting a four corners elimination match for the titles tonight, with Wyatt's taking on Slater and Rhino, the Usos, and American Alpha. So now we've got can't even say it.
Oh my god, I'm just reading this. This sounds horrible.
The women's segment. So Natalia's like, I'm tired of all the rumors. Nikki, can you come to the ring, please? And then as soon as they're in the ring, Carmella shows up and says, I'm just here to see how much Natalia will weasel her way out of this. And Nikki says, how do you know that Carmella isn't the one that attacked her? And Carmella's like, if I did, I'd be bragging about it. Yeah. Cena can't help out with all your problems. Stop daydreaming about the SNL after party and realize that Natalia's a liar. Or perhaps maybe some silicone leaked into your brain. And Natalia's like, shut up. And Carmella's like, are you going for an Academy Award or something? And Natalia's like, no. Someone needs, did you not say that someone needs to teach Nikki a lesson? And Natalia's like, shut up. And I was like, he cried on her shoulder and said the Bella Twins are in WWE because he didn't make it on their own. Natalia says, we said that. I said that to you in private, in confidentiality. You're nothing but a dirty little Statline snitch. And Nikki's like, did you really attack me? And Natalia's like, Carmella caused all this, chases her, throws her into the bloody Christmas shit. Then gets back on the mic on the stage, although I don't know where that came from, and goes, all right, I did it, you bitch. It's like, hold on. Hold the fuck on. So you're going after Carmella for spreading lies, and then all of a sudden you're turning fucking heel?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with the Divas division? What the actual fuck? And Natalia goes, I've always despised you because I'm Natty Neidhart. I'm wrestling royalty. You're not, Nikki. You may be the longest running Divas champ in history. I know you've worked hard, 10 years, worked your butt off. But you and your sister just got everything because you're beautiful. You're nothing, just like these people in Detroit. You get the magazine covers. You get to walk the red carpets. You get the spin-off show. That should have been me. I'm like, I think the situation with TJ probably meant it wouldn't be you.
Yeah.
You didn't get it, Nikki, because you got a great personality. You got no charisma. My cat has more charisma. You may be beautiful on the inside and the outside, but you're nothing. And that's why John will never marry you.
Oh,
and I'm like,
Total Bella's storyline.
I'm like, I do not give a fuck. Where is the shotgun that I can kill Natalia and Carmella and Nikki Bella all in one shot? Because give me that fucking trigger now.
Morgan Freeman had it and wanted.
No, Morgan Freeman was shoot this motherfucker. Funny. I brought that up considering Wanted was actually on television.
Nice.
So now Daniel Bryan's on the phone. Alexa Bliss comes in limping and says, my leg's really hurting. You know, you better punish Becky accordingly. And Brian's like, that's fair. I think, you know, as an appropriate punishment. Becky's gonna face you for the women's title next week, and Alexa's like, wait, you're really gonna put your injured champ in danger? And Brian said, well, you're cleared to compete. Last week you refused to face the competition, but you're in a match tonight. But if you don't compete, you'll forfeit the title. And I was like, I didn't fight last week out of the goodness of my heart. You know, whatever happens to the person I'm facing tonight is on you. We're doing that shit again as well.
Yeah.
And Bliss walks off, not limping. Is this like a war wound or something? So then we get Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper. Oh my God, it's Shield versus the Wyatts. Oh no, it isn't. Sort of. Ambrose wins this. Actually, not too bad a match. Actually,
Look who it is.
but the
You shouldn't be
Wyatts
shocked.
attack the shit out of Ambrose. The Wyatts beat the shit out of Ambrose. Wyatt goes for Sister Abigail, but then throws him into Orton for an RKO. And that happens for some reason. So the lights go off. But then come back on. Miz shows up with Maurice. Gives Ambrose a skull-crushing finale, and they kiss. So I guess that happened. So now we've got Alexa Bliss versus La Luchadora. And she's pretty, you know, pretty interesting. I guess this goes so wrong that Bliss starts bleeding from the nose. Clearly where a piercing should be.
Oh, no.
You know, it's like from out of the side of her nose, like where the hole of the ring would go or something. Just a little bit, nothing really sort of, not like Sasha Banks major. And then this mystery luchadora locks on the disarmer. And Bliss taps. And the jobber circles the ring, high-fiving the crowd, gets back in the ring and unmasks herself. Holy shit! It's Becky. Somebody stole an idea from WCPW. We'll get to that later. Alexa, by the way, is pissed. So now Ryan Phillippe's looking for Randy Orton backstage, and Mojo says, you know, it's not a good idea to find him. And then Kurt Hawkins goes up and goes, man, I'm looking forward to your film Patriots Day, and that role in Ted was awesome. I'm like, how the fuck do you get Ryan Phillippe confused with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
You know, Mark Wahlberg's had a career. Ryan Phillippe hasn't.
That's why he's on an USA show now.
Yeah. Like Chris O'Donnell. Fell off when he had to go do, what was it, NCIS?
Yep.
Oh, Cool J. But then he got on WrestleMania for that. So we get Mojo versus Kurt Hawkins. Which Mojo wins.
Why?
And apparently he and Ryan hug afterwards.
It's clear this was supposed to be Zack Ryder's spot. He's the one that does that. He did the stuff with Hugh Jackman. He did the stuff with Hugh Jackman with Ziggler. So clearly this was supposed to be Zack's spot. Mr. No Talent is too bad.
I wonder if anything's going to happen in February. Late February, early March. We'll see. So now we've got James Ellsworth. Oh, no, sorry. It's fucking Dasher, Prancer, Vancer, Blitzen. Vic, whatever.
What is this? I'm reading this storyline. What is this?
Is that really? Because I would ask the same fucking thing. What is this? Fuck is this? It was my fucking goal, Jeff. Dash is just like, apparently he's been taken to a hospital. Cue the fucking door behind it opening 2 seconds afterwards, and here he comes being taken to the ambulance. Great fucking info, Dasher, Prancer, Prancer, Blinson.
I swear they want these female announcers to fail.
And she's so fucking robotic. Just question after question after question after question. Which you'd have thought James can't say fucking anything because he got fucking murdered by AJ Styles.
Yep.
And then of all people to make the save, it's Carmella.
This is the bad.
Makes me wonder, does that mean Carmella's now turning face?
Well, that's not even that. It's just the fact that they've already said on television Carmella is with Cass. So are we supposed to believe that Carmella is cheating on Cass with James Ellsworth?
Are we actually going to be having a triple threat somewhere, possibly at the Chamber, with Miz and Maurice versus Ellsworth and Carmella versus Ambrose and Young?
It's possible, but Renee's non-training may put the kibosh.
No, I'm just saying in the corner. Doesn't have to be.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely they will.
And fucking Dasher, after being said, you should know what the time and the, rightfully so, Carmella's going, you should know there's a time and a place for those sort of questions. And it's not now. Dasher, no fucking reaction to her face. She's just deadpan. And then even moves her arm like she's a fucking robot. Like, oh, fucking hell. Great Caruso. Dasher, Prancer, Francer, Blitzen. Learn how to fucking emote. And I don't mean the Emoji Movie.
Oh, don't even get me started on that crap.
That trailer looks fucking terrible.
Yes, it does.
Just like these women. Hey! Speaking of terrible, Ziggler versus Corbin. Guess what, Ziggler? You fucking dropped the ball again. I can't say that this is a credible match because Corbin was in it. Because, what happens, of course, is we get a double count out thanks to some AJ Styles shenanigans.
Right.
So both can't make it in the ring for the 10 count. So it leads to a triple threat next week. One, Ziggler looks shit because one opportunity again. Corbin looks shit because he's shit. And AJ, the one that you're supposed to boo because he's the heel, is the only one I think that's going to get fucking cheered in Chicago next week.
Agreed.
Ziggler's going to get booed, Corbin's going to get booed, and the heel champ is going to get cheered. And then Cena returns and gets cheered. So you get face versus face at the Rumble. What the actual fuck?
Well, if they're going to pull the trigger on this Undertaker AJ match at the Rumble, that is this match that's like so fictitious that we haven't heard about it yet, they're going to have to start it this week. If they don't, it's not happening. There's not enough time to build it.
I'm trying to work out why else would... I guess Cena could come back just for the Rumble, but... I don't know. We'll see.
So that was SmackDown.
Yeah.
205 live?
205 actually live?
Actually live.
First off, we had Daivari versus Dorado, which wasn't too bad, actually. Mainly because we actually saw Dorado fight against Daivari. Daivari eventually got the win with a frog splash, but yeah, it was a good showcase from certainly Dorado. Daivari was going to be showcased well, because obviously he's in the storyline. And then claimed that afterwards on the mic, that Daivari said that Jack Gallagher was not a British gentleman, and nor was he extraordinary. He was a scoundrel. Why the fuck would somebody like Daivari use the word scoundrel?
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
That really Gallagher would say. Huh? So then we got Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander, which was pretty awesome. And then, of course, we get this fucking storyline. So Alicia Fox gets injured, gets like an ankle, foot injury or something.
Right.
Basically, Gulak pushed Alexander into her after a giant tope suicida to the outside. But before Cedric could even get out the ring, Noam Dar runs out of nowhere and picks up Foxy, and takes her to the locker room. And then Gulak tries to use this opportunity to get a victory, but Cedric just hit him with a lumbar check, got the win, and ran the fuck to the back to find out where his go is. Because that's big. That's big.
So
Oh wow, the emoji movie trailer might have got pulled from Twitter altogether. Well, it's the big show. And then we get the tag match with Neville and Kendrick versus Swan and Perkins, which the heels win because of I think it was the Red Arrow, wasn't it?
it was.
So we're now doing that as a heel. Just a bit weird.
Not a good spot for it. He needs I said this the other night. He needs an Impact finisher, and he needs new music.
It's the wrong company. Anyway, that's 205 live. I don't know what's happening next week. That could be an interesting one.
What Culture Pro Wrestling?
WCPW.
Yes.
So we've reloaded. 2 matches were on it. Have a quick look. Yeah, so first off, we had Drake versus El Ligero. Which Ligero won with a springboard EDT. Pretty decent match. Got bloody confusing, though, because there was a spot where they both did a double crossbody. They did a crossbody on each other and rolled out to the floor and underneath the ring. And then out comes Drake with El Liguero's mask on. And then out comes Liguero with El Draco's mask.
What?
And the ref's like, no, I'm not allowing it. And both of them just gesture, we'll go back underneath. And then the fans are shouting at the ref, do your job. And the ref's just like, nope, I'm not allowing it. I'm not counting them out. So then they come back, except Monsieur Drake has been replaced by El Draco. And then we get to the crux of the match. And Liguero has him down, has Draco down. And he goes for the mask. And pulls it off. And wouldn't you fucking know it, El Draco is Drake. And then gives him the springboard DDT and wins.
He won with a C4L.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to call it that.
It's me we're talking about here. I have to know. I have to know if it was a specific spot.
So, and then they had sort of a showcase, if you will,
Okay.
from British Championship Wrestling up in Kilmarnock. And it was a WCPW title match with Drew Galloway beating Matt Hardy with a backslide pin. Very good match between those two. Very solid, as you'd expect from those two, really. Then in terms of loaded, this was a very concise. You can sort of tell that the editors wanted to have Christmas off. Because it was short, sharp, and to the point in this episode. Episode 17, the Series 2 finale, if you will. Mundo versus El Patron. And the preview, but didn't. So you're getting it on YouTube. Mundo gets on the mic and says, you know, the only reason you missed your fight, Alberto, or you missed it on purpose, it wasn't some accident, you know. I beat you 2 years ago on Lucha Underground. There's a bit of a difference. Back then, we were in the tan bodies of California. But here, we got an ugly-ass bunch of I can't even say munters or mancas or something. Or macas. You know, really pissed off the crowd. And then, like, makes fun of Alan Shearer, who's like a Newcastle soccer player extraordinaire. Alberto does the only thing responsible. Johnny, shut the fuck up! Literally says that because I have to get the bleeper out. And then the commentators then note, just as the match starts, that these two guys did go head to head in AAA back in the day. Wouldn't you know it? They had the match and Alberto lost that one. Oh, sorry, Monsieur Thingy lost that one. Mundo. There was one weird bit in which bloody Mundo was on his knees and he was like offering his hand and whatever. And I guess they must have seen an Adam Cole match like 2 minutes beforehand. Because, of course, all they were chanting was, suck his dick, suck his dick. And on the second time that this happened, Mundo's head did get put into Alberto's crotch area.
Wow.
So they did sort of go that far. Patron eventually won with a cross arm bar. Very good match, though, between these two. So then Jack the Jobber's backstage with Adam. He's like, how are you, Adam? You all right? How you doing? And Adam just, like, gets in his face, like, grabs him sort of from the jacket and goes, I'm fine. Jack, I need you to tell the Swords that they're going to be with B tonight in her corner. You know, because we want that belt. And get me a coffee. Something that I noted from B. Priestley's entrance from the Swords of Essex. She's from some place called Wellington, New Zealand. What the fuck has Wellington, New Zealand got to do with fucking Essex? Just a point. Anyway, Nixon wins in a handful of minutes, pretty sure. An okay match. The high spot was probably towards the end when Nixon manages to take out both Wainwright and Nosferatu. And then the shiningest of all shining wizards got hit on B. 1, 2, 3, she wins. Immediately, Robertson and Wainwright beat the shit out of her. And then B smacks Nixon with the belt and leaves with the title. Okay. And the purpose of that happening was nothing, was it? Maybe. Maybe. So, next backstage, we got the Coffees saying that they want to delete the memory of losing the tournament on Delete WCPW. Both are used to winning. Perhaps they need to think about, though, what to do tonight. Perhaps percolate on the matter? Because, you know, they're the Coffees. And then Mustache Mountain come in and say, you want to win, and we want to win. You know what? Let's just say the best team win. You know, may the best team win. Mustache Mountain shake hands with Joe. Mark just walks off. Know what's going on there? So, still there, Owen?
I'm here.
Just making sure I hadn't lost the line because I just heard silence. I was getting worried. So then we get the triple threat elimination tag match. Prospect of Gracie and Archer versus Mustache Mountain. Pretty good elimination match. Prospect were the first to go after the black coffee combo on Archer. But then the Coffees get eliminated by Mustache Mountain for the Mustache Mountain's first win, I believe, on the company's roll of pay. Because Joe managed to accidentally hit black coffee on Mark. Because I think Tyler managed to get out of the way with it. And then Mustache Mountain did their combo finisher, which is a hefty chest chop from Trent Seven, followed by a German suplex pinning combination from Tyler Bate. And Mustache Mountain win. Huzzah, hurrah. Oh, wait, they're going to the E. And then afterwards, Mark is not happy with the JoJo. Oh, wait. Not that JoJo. Honest. So now we've got Martin Kirby, who manages to find Matt Hardy outside. Gives him a pep talk and, hype and whatever. And, he's shouting in his face and whatever. So he's going, and Martin's just like, why are you shouting? I'm right next to you. And also, you got no control over your voice. Have you been drinking? And Matt's like, of course not. All I've been doing is drinking from the fountain of youth for the past 2009 years. And then says, how Adam will be deleted. And all that sort of stuff. In terms of the 3-on-2 handicap match that they had, wasn't too bad. There was one bit with Nosferatu managing to headbutt Kirby's knee so hard he actually starts bleeding from his forehead. Once he's done so, like Robinson's like holds his head as if to go, what the fuck? I guess for retaliation, Matt managed to actually bite Nosferatu's head outright. Then there was a ref bump. Matt manages to hit the Twist of Fate on Robinson and Ray. Hardy and Bully Ray then just fight to the back. And there's a chair involved. Wainwright goes to use it, but Kirby gets it off him and can see the referee's coming too. So he just smacks the chair on the mat, throws it to Wainwright, falls down on the mat, feigning he's been hit. The Eddie spot. The beautiful Eddie spot. And then the referee's about to call it off. And Pacitti goes, No, I'm not allowing this. I'm making this match no DQ. And Wainwright gets taken out. And then bloody Nosferatu Robinson gets sable bombed for the 3 count. Hardy and Kirby win. Pacitti is no longer GM. It's Kirby.
Did you notice
Pacitti's
that
in the ring, on his knees? Go ahead.
Did you notice their Twitter feed is now switched to pink and white?
Yeah. I'm guessing that means you haven't seen the news, so I'll get to that in a minute. It's interesting. So I'm just trying to see if the latest Dave stuff is in. I think it should become. What?
Oh, I just saw the Liverpool show.
Damn it. So Pacitti's in the ring on his knees, and Kirby says, do you want a chair to sit on? And then brings out a Martin Kirby specially branded pink steel chair. And Kirby's like, no, I'm a GM now, so anything you want to say or, anything you want to do, Adam? Of course, the fans just go, suck his dick, suck his dick, suck his dick. Kirby does it perfectly in terms of the response. He just goes, do you want to do that, Adam? And the fans are like, LMAO. And he's like, nah, I won't want that. That's a bit too weird, even for my standards. And he goes, I'm the new GM. You know what? I'm giving everybody Christmas off. By the way, Merry Christmas, Adam. Super kick! And then Hardy comes out, stands on the pink chair and goes, oh, that is a beautiful pink chair. We have deleted the Pacitti Club. Delete, delete, delete. This tonight was wonderful. And just as you think it's over, we cut to the arena afterwards. And somebody's brooming up the floor. And it's Pacitti. And then Jack comes in and says, excuse me, but the GM Kirby says you need to sweep up faster. And Adam's just going at his own pace, dejected. As we fade to black. And all that stuff.
Do you want to bring up what's going on?
This is where we bring up the news that came out today.
Yes.
WCW's next show in Liverpool is not just going to be a live event. It's going to be live overall. Because they're going to be broadcasting it for free live on YouTube. And they are entitling the show Kirby Mania. So we're definitely not stealing an idea from PCW. Or trying to think whether it was PCW or Rev Pro or something. Because there has been a Kirby Mania. Hence the graphic. The thing is, they keep saying that Cody versus Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be happening on it.
That is correct.
So I don't know whether that means the whole January 5th stuff is going to have to be a video broadcast from the New Japan stuff. And
well,
he's actually going to be in Liverpool in time. I guess that explains why it's the second match on the card now. So he can do it and fly straight back to Liverpool.
That's exactly what we said last week.
Except, what if Cody's booked by Impact?
He's not working those tapings. He'll work in March.
If they pay enough money.
So
if they pay enough money, he will. I guess. Oh God, that could be even more fucking terrible.
Cody tweeted out yesterday, January 5th, the What Culture Internet Championship match against Zack Sabre Jr. January 6th, What Culture Internet Championship against Ricochet. January 7th, it's a surprise.
Huh.
Tickets at wc.pw. So the WCPW match on the 7th is going to be the big one.
What? Against Alberto?
I think it's going to be. I don't know. They're saying it's a surprise. So obviously, there's something big going on.
Sydal?
Possibly.
Well, I don't know whether they'd allow him in with the drugs. Oh my fucking God. I know it'll be a bit problematic because of the club and everything. What if it turned out it was fucking Omega?
That would be cool.
I don't know whether that'd be possible though, because of New Japan and all that stuff. I'm guessing Cody's actually got still the ability to go free reign and whatever, so he doesn't need all contracts that all the other people have. So,
I mean,
yeah, that's WP for 2016.
Yeah.
I guess that means that. I mean, we're probably not covering it live Thursday.
This Thursday?
No, January the 5th.
That is the Thursday.
The day
yes.
after we do our Wednesday podcast.
We'll cover it on next Wednesday show. It'll be like Impact. It'll be a week
the
behind.
Wednesday after.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think whether there's anything happening that Friday. Because I know we can't do anything Sunday because that's Golden Globes.
Yep.
Have to think. We'll see.
So this moves us to our next thing on the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast, and that is the UFC.
Well, thankfully, I've only got a set of results to cover because it's Christy Mass, there's nothing happening.
Good. We have a very short amount of time to go.
Yeah, so UFC on the Fight Pass preliminary card, Sultan Aliyev beat Bojan Velukovic in the welterweight division via split decision. Hector Sandoval beat Freddie Serrano in the flyweight via unanimous decision. And then Eddie Wineland beat Takeya Mizugaki, with first round stoppage via punches. Then the Fox Sports 1 undercard, Leslie Smith beat Irene Aldana via unanimous decision. Another unanimous decision for Josh Emmett over Scott Holtzman in the lightweight division. Also for the two welterweight fights with Alex Morono beating James Muntasiri and Colby Covington beating Brian Barberena. So they all went to unanimous. As did the featherweight bout between Mizoto Hirota against beating Cole Miller. And then the main bit of the preliminary card, the debuting Scott Paul Craig did a big result, beating Luis Enrique da Silva via an armbar submission midway through the second round in the light heavyweight category. And then for your main card on Fox, Alan Juban beat Mike Perry via unanimous decision for the welterweight division. In the bantamweights, Uriah Faber did get the unanimous decision win over Brad Pickett quite comfortably, actually, because all three judges gave it him 30-26. So he retires with a win. They wouldn't do that in wrestling. Then, via a rear naked choke submission, Mickey Gall beat Sage Northcutt, proving that Sage Northcutt star is waning, and Mickey Gall was actually proving to be somewhat of an impressive guy. And then the main event, she was dancing with the stars too much, clearly, because Paige Van Zandt had to. I don't know if she passed. It was a technical submission, so she might have passed out because her opponent Michelle Waterson put her in a rear naked choke, and the match was over within 3.5 minutes of the fight starting, of a 5-round fight. Ouch. Key thing to worth noting, though, is once again the bonuses. So the fight of the night went to Leslie Smith and Irene Aldana, which was the opening fight of the Fox Sports 1 preliminary card. In terms of the pay for that, obviously it's $50,000 bonuses. Leslie Smith made $50,000, not even including that. Irene Aldana only made $12,000. So she got $62,000 instead of $12,000. Nice. And in terms of performances of the night, Michelle Waterson for her rear naked choke against Paige Van Zandt got her an additional $50,000 on top of her $30,000 for her win. And then Paul Craig, in his debut, topped up his $20,000 with another $50,000 for his armbar submission. He got the performance of a night bonus as well. So there we go.
All right.
In terms of what's coming next week, not obviously this week, but next week, obviously, we're building towards Rousey versus Nunes. That's really the only one you need to care about on that show. That's all UFC does care about, because obviously afterwards, if Ronda goes, whether she wins or loses, I'm retiring, UFC's going, no.
Fair point.
There you go. In terms of news, nothing much is happening because obviously most people are. So if they're fighting in January, they're going to be obviously somewhat getting into training camp now. Obviously, Ronda and Nunes and all the people on the undercard for that one will be. I'm guessing most of the other people are just getting fat because it's Christmas. And then realizing they need to go up a weight division, probably. So, yeah, that's the, I think, all the UFC. I should really go to the update of daily to see if anything's come in.
That leads us to Lucha Underground.
Have a quick look. Oh, apparently, I might as well do the UFC news now because this is all stuff that's come from today's daily update from F4W and Observer. UFC announced Mark Hunt versus Alistair Overeem for UFC 209 on March the 4th, but Mark Hunt says he'll only fight if there's a clause that protects him if Overeem fails a drugs test. Of course, that's in response to Brock. So, oh, that's interesting. Louis Smolka versus Ray Borg will now open the UFC 207 pay-per-view after Jessica Andrade got pulled from the show, with the UFC unable to find a replacement opponent for her. I guess because whoever she was supposed to be taking on got injured. So that's the show that's going to be happening in a week or so. And I think that's all in terms of the MMA stuff. So Lucha, pretty simple, really. It's entitled Battle of the Bulls. Previously, stuff happened. So he's led off pretty much straight into the Battle of the Bulls. The Mac, Jeremiah Crane, Cage, and PJ Black. The Darewolf. In four-way elimination action. Pretty good four-way, actually, between them, in all honesty. First to be taken out was Cage, thanks to a distraction from Tecano, which allowed Cage to get super kicked by Mac, and then once he was down, PJ managed to springboard splash Cage and get a win. Next, Crane was out after a sitting on the top rope stunner from Damac. And then Damac got the eventual win with another stunner on PJ. So Mac will be taking on or gets number one contendership. So now we cut to backstage. Phoenix and Aerostar, for some reason, think they're going to find Drago in the dilapidated toilets of the building. They break open the doors, find nothing. And Cobra comes in and says he's back with the tribe. And Aerostar's like, he made a vow a millennia ago that he wouldn't. And she's like, well, if you have any problems with it, maybe my friend Pindar. And she said some other name, but fuck it, Luchasaurus. Pindar and Luchasaurus come in. So the five of them have a backstage B-movie brawl fight. Faces get flattened pretty easily. And they basically say, the next person that will be standing over your lifeless corpses is Drago. Dramatic stuff. We see the Cage ready in the ring. And Sexy's backstage getting ready. Matt comes in. She congratulates him on his win. And gives her the pep talk saying, "You're going to win that belt. And by the way, I'm not going to go easy on you when I challenge you." And she goes, "You know, be an honor to have you challenge me." And they head off. Now we get to Dario's office. And Jeremiah Crane's in there. He says, "You know, I want the match, no matter what happens." And he gets it. And then goes, "Can I get something?" And Dario's like, "What?" And goes into the bloody drywall roof of the office and finds something, you know, tucked in there. And he goes, "Wow, you know, it's been there ever since I was a kid." And Dario's looking like, how the fuck does he know what's in there? Also, what the fuck is it? And I know it was like a box or a carved piece of wood or something, but, you know, he shows up and then Katrina appears from nowhere. And he says, "You know, look at what I've just found. You know, just like what we played when we were kids." And Katrina says, "Yeah, what are you doing with that?" And he says, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Because next week, I go one-on-one with Muertes. And we'll find out why you shouldn't have saved Pablo Escobar, whatever the name is that he's supposed to be, Mil Muertes, before he died. Yeah. I'm going to prove that you shouldn't have saved him from that earthquake." And then the cage match with International Underground banned from ringside. Sexy Star taking on the champ, Johnny Mundo. This was an okay match. The more and more I'm now seeing of Sexy Star, the more and more I'm realizing she really isn't that good. Apart from the no mask fight, she really is not solid enough to be like a title. She's sort of like I don't want to say she's the James Ellsworth of like Lucha Underground, but it's sort of like to a point where it's a situation of, is this really the right thing and whatever? Just don't feel right, man. Don't feel right. Basically, it's somewhat of a novel finish, though. I will give it that. Both are fighting on top of the cage, but then the mask comes off Sexy Star. I guess she gets unmasked and obviously covers her face and everything because that is the luchador away. And Mundo escapes the cage and wins. And some fans are pissed at him. Also, for some reason, throughout this entire show, they've been showing some beardy bloke with a hat in the crowd. I know it can't be Morris Gibb because he's dead, but they keep stressing like it's a famous person. I'm like, I have no clue who the fuck this is. Would anybody tell me? But wait, there's more. Because now we're back at the throne room of Cobra Moon. And Draw goes there, standing on guard, and she's like, yeah, "Now I have you back. Don't worry. The Luchasaurus is getting some food, getting a small meal for you. And I'll leave you to take, you know, once we've had the stuff, I'll leave you to clean off all the scraps." And he's like, "I'm not hungry. I'm not giving in." And she's just like, "Oh, you will. Yeah. Eventually the dragon must feed." Maniacal laugh, maniacal laugh. And that's Lucha. Not too bad, but could have been a little bit better. Probably would have been helped by not just 2 matches.
Right.
Especially when you had like about 3 advert breaks during the first match alone. Advert heavy.
Well, that's an interesting segue because we roll into NXT next.
Oh no. Advert heavy as well, was it?
Well, it did honestly have only 3 matches on the show.
Well, one of them was it 4-way eliminator or 4-way outright?
It was a 4-way dance. There was only 3 matches on the show. So the show kicks off with Billy Kay coming in the ring with Peyton Royce, facing off against Daria Baronetto. I do not like this character at all. Daria is she's not the greatest in the ring. This is a very weak match. Interference from Peyton leads to the big boot for the pin. Afterwards, we get a horrible promo basically stating that they want to take out Asuka. And that's pretty much the end of it. There's nothing more to say. I think I wrote in my notes literally bad promo about Asuka. And then actually we get the match. The Authors of Pain match. The Authors of Pain match against Anthony Bowens and Johnny Vandal, John Ortigan. This is the one where the Authors of Pain almost killed Anthony Bowens. With that power bomb. So, squash match definition. They power bomb both Bowens and Ortigan into each other. And then they literally power bombed Ortigan on top of Bowens and their heads cracked. And then they set up the leg sweep lariat finish and Bowens just fell down. So they called the match. And they didn't focus on him laying in the we saw the trainer go underneath the bottom rope, and that's pretty much what you saw. And you saw him laying on the ground. But basically, Paul Ellering says all roads lead to San Antonio. Doesn't matter if it's DIY or the Revival. The Authors are on Seek and Destroy, a mission to become the next tag team champions. Once again, I will state this. As long as Shane Taylor and Keith Lee exist, I do not care about the Authors of Pain.
Yep.
They're not believable. I don't care.
There's only one set of fat fucks we care about.
Well, they're not fat. They're husky, but still, it's another story.
They're fat with pH. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not fat. They're fat like cool fat.
Asuka says that Peyton and Billy are no competition to her whatsoever, and they need to be careful. And right over the corner of her eye, she spots Nikki Cross watching her. So yeah, we're getting Nikki Cross and Asuka probably as soon as San Antonio.
Fucking happening. Fucking.
It's either going to happen.
Wait, hang on. If this is happening at San Antonio, who the fuck's the face?
No, I think that they'll do Asuka against like Billy or Peyton in San Antonio, and they'll do Nikki Cross at WrestleMania weekend. I guess I'm just saying that because that's what I want to see. But they're building one of the two, obviously. They're building to Nikki Cross and Asuka to be the next big program. So, yes, I fully support this. Main event time, four-way dance, literal four-way dance. Winner becomes the number one contender in TakeOver San Antonio. Andrade Cien Almas taking on Bobby Roode. Drop the D. Roderick Strong and Ty Dillinger. Solid match. Gave it a lot of time. a lot of time in this match. Tower of Doom spot leads to a lot of interesting things. So at one point, Almas basically is about to finish off Dillinger with their running knees in the corner. He hits it, but right before he's ready to connect, he gets caught with a sick kick, and Roderick Strong eliminates him right away. So they go back and forth for a while, and Roddy gets a backdrop facebuster, and he gets caught with a tiebreaker out of absolute nowhere, Latino Man style, to get the second elimination. Dillinger's got shine in this match for days, and he's rocking Bobby left and right. He's going for the tiebreaker, gets countered, double R spine buster. He sets up for the glorious drop. Ty hits the tiebreaker, gets a very close near fall. He goes
2.99999.
Exactly. He goes to the top. He picks Rude up on his shoulders in the fireman's carry. He looks like he's going to deliver the tiebreaker off the top. That counters, and when he gets back in the ring, he hits the tiebreaker, goes for the tiebreaker once more. Rude gets free, crotches him backwards on the top turnbuckle, and when he gets back to his feet, he hits the glorious drop. And Bobby Roode is going to move on to wrestle for the NXT Championship in San Antonio at the next TakeOver. Match went about 18 minutes. Solid back and forth match. I'll give big kudos to Corey Graves for putting over Roddy like hardcore on commentary. Really made him look like a star to people that don't know anything about him. Crowd was really into Dillinger. Crowd was really into Bobby Roode. Cien Almas was just kind of there. But luckily they eliminated him first. So solid NXT. I enjoyed this show. I enjoyed the main event. The women's match was terrible. I don't like the Authors of Pain, and I'm glad Anthony Bowens is okay. And the four-way was really good. So yeah, NXT this week. Leads us to our final piece of actual notes before we get into news, and that also includes results from House of Hardcore and Wrestle Circus. So we'll get to that, and PWG, we'll get to that in a minute. And I believe Evolve was last week. Anyway, so that would be Ring of Honor for this week.
So Ring of Honor opens with Kyle saying, I'm the new champ. And have the titles proven consistently. Ring of Honor is the best wrestling on the planet. And the fact that I've got the belt around my waist means I'm the best in the world. And I'll defend it with title. I'll defend the title with honor and integrity, just like McGuinness did, just like Danielson did, just like Samoa did, just like everybody's done. The final battle will be a moment that he never forgets. After 11 years, it's a moment that nobody will be able to take away from him. Cue Adam Cole's music and says, wait one goddamn minute. You shouldn't be celebrating. You'd be apologizing for the travel. I prepared for weeks to beat you for the millionth time. And it gets changed to a no DQ match with thumbtacks and tables and chains. You're just a joker's champion. It's luck. You can walk around with a title over your shoulder all you want. But the best damn wrestler on this planet and the true world champion is Adam Cole, baby. Cue Dalton Castle, who says to Adam, this must be so embarrassing for you. I was in the back in the middle of an intense game of Uno, and I heard you go on about the world title. And Dalton congratulates Kyle on his win, but notices I wasn't in the competition. I'm a dangerous man, a fantastic wrestler. And the last time we were in the ring, you were the world champ, Adam, and I pinned you. Are you doing the math? And given that I'm related to a math teacher, that makes me at least half a math teacher. So I feel I'm next in line for a shot at the title. Cue Bobby Fish. And Bobby says, well, it appears that my brother Kyle made good on every promise he made about Adam Cole and the title. Mere days removed and you're out here complaining. Dalton's out here because he wants to know who's next. And Bobby says, I want survival of the fittest, so I've got a title match to do. Then Cole stops Fish and says, I couldn't care less about what either of you want. Kyle's title reign is going to be short. I'm going to be a 3-time champ. And Kyle goes, well, as long as there's breath in my lungs, I will defend the belt. If anybody wants to take it from me, good luck. And then they announce that there'll be the 6-man tag with Adam Cole and the Bucks versus Fish, O'Reilly, and Castle. So then Daniels comes out and says, I've got more than twice the excellence than the Decade of Excellence tournament. For that reason alone, the tournament starts with Mark Briscoe and ends with a world title shot.
Yes.
And Mark Briscoe says, the hell with 10 years. It was 15 years ago when I made my debut under the guidance of Daniels. I've come a long way since then. So then Briscoe and Daniels put on somewhat of a clinic. Really good match between the two, which Daniels gets to win with the Angel's wings. Pretty impressive. So before we can get to the next match, Kenny King gets on the mic and says how the tribunals turned Ring of Honor upside down. You boo. But why would you boo a group just like you? They love wrestling and love Ring of Honor. They just have the stones to do whatever they've got to do. They're trying to get you to see the things their way. You are the enemy because you do not see things from our perspective. If you stand beside us, you see things the same way. If you want to take a stand, raise your hand and join the rebellion. And Kenny gives the mic to Lio Rush, who he's taking on apparently. And Leo says, you wouldn't know me if Wikipedia beat you on the ass. What you stand for is completely different than what I stand for. I stand for integrity, respect, and honor. So then Caprice Coleman comes in and says, man, yeah, now we know why I don't hand you the microphone. You're just like the best. You're here to be seen, and then you get your first ticket out the door, and then you're gone. Before you leave, you've got to face me, Caprice Coleman. I would say I'm going to beat you, Leo, like you stole something. But I'm going to beat you like you stole something from me. You had the gall to call the cops on me and put me in jail, but I walked out and I beat you. Caprice Coleman clearly did well because after missing clotheslines, Lio Rush gets him with a roll-up and wins. Afterwards, Rhett Titus and Kenny King actually do the effort, attacking Rush, and then Caprice hits a pile driver out of a backbreaker position. And boom. Then Donovan Dijak and Jay White make their way to the ring for some reason for the main event. Cole and the Bucks versus Dalton, O'Reilly, and Fish. Or Dalton and Red Dragon, I guess. Very good 6-man tag between these guys. Eventually, Kyle manages to make Nick tap out to a cross arm breaker, followed by Fish taking out Adam Cole with a Falcon Arrow, and Castle hitting Bangarang on Matt.
He did the deal.
So letting the faces win for Christmas. Yay!
Was like a fun show.
It was indeed. Indeed.
And the Decade of Excellence tournament rolls on next week.
Mm-hmm. They don't take Christmas off, sadly. So in terms of indie stuff, the one sad thing that happened in fucking New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi will no longer be having his old theme that he's had for just longer than a decade. It debuted, I believe, January the 1st, 2005. And yeah, that was a bit of a... I mean, I can't say a shame, but it sort of was. It's like, man, it's the end of an era. The music that everybody was into, just like Nakamura's theme, will be gone forever.
Ashley, you want to talk
In
about
terms of the
PWG?
notes from this, well, no, because I'm gonna have there was some other stuff that happened on the Kurikan Hall show, and just having to get the notes because I didn't put them on my text file and whatever. Quite a lot of it was building towards other stuff. This was the interesting one. So after the 6-man tag on the Friday show with Makabe Homer and Juice Robinson versus Tonga, Loa, and the Bone Soldier, Toru Yano showed up and delivered low blows to both of the teams involved in the tag match and made it known that he wants to be in the Tokyo Dome and wants the tag belts, and that his partner will be Tomohiro Ishii.
Wow.
So I have to see. Oh wait, we won't, because that actually got added. So the tag title match is now a 3-way triple threat with GBH versus the Guerrillas of Destiny versus Chaos of Yano and Ishii. Also worth noting, in the main event of the Friday show, Hiromu Takahashi won his first match back in New Japan, beating Kushida with a time bomb. So yeah, Kamitachi, whatever you want to call him, got the pin over Kushida. That probably tells you what's going to happen in a month. Probably. Doesn't exactly. Because that would be awkward if it did. So then the Saturday show, Yano showed up again during the tag match that featured the Guerrillas of Destiny and GBH. Ishii then also jumped into the ring and took out both teams, basically appealing for the 3-way, which then eventually got added. Nagata beat Nakanishi, and there was a lot of respect between them following their recent issues against each other. And then the main event had the announcement. Sorry, not exactly the main event. The co-main. Tanahashi made his announcement on Saturday that High Energy, his theme, would be used no more. Tonight was the last time you'd be hearing it. A new theme song will be debuting as of Wrestle Kingdom January 4th. In which case, he's come out to when he wrestles on the shows beforehand. Is he not going to come out to music? Who knows? So then Kenny Omega beat Yoshihashi in the tag. Well, it was a tag match with Okada and Yoshihashi versus Omega and Fale, but it was Omega that got the win for his team with Tatsuyoko Nodeshi on Yoshihashi. Fale took a cheap shot at Okada afterwards and left Omega with the opening to take out the IWGP champ. Bullet Club ended the show with their own celebrations. Huzzah, hurrah, celebrate good times. So,
PWG?
in terms of the other stuff, I quickly want to, nothing really major happened on the Fantastic Dragon Gate Japan card, other than basically everybody got the chance to say, to everybody, thanks for coming. 2017 is going to be a good year. The response from Kotoka was there. And the response from Hollywood Stalker Ishikara was where. That is the official notes that I have from My Heart DG. That's what they said. No clue. PWG, Mystery Vortex 4. These are not the vortices you're looking for, or whatever you want to call it. Pretty damn strong show from what I can tell. We had Trent beat Candice LeRae. Trevor Lee beat ACH. The released Matt Sydal got the victory over Pete Dunne. In which case, Pete must have been on a plane straight from the London announcement to go to LA. I'd have thought. Red Dragon beat Death by Elbow. Chuck Taylor beat Adam Cole with the awful waffle to become the new #1 contender. Matt Riddle and Jeff Cobb successfully teamed up to beat the Young Bucks in a non-title match, but that could clearly become title next month or whenever the next show is. And then the PWG World title on the line. Zack Sabre Jr. retained against Marty Scurll via the cross arm breaker. So that means we might be seeing another chapter in Zack Sabre Jr. versus Chuck Taylor on the next show. Me is excited.
I want to quickly.
Have you got the results for House of Hardcore, Aaron?
Yeah, before we get into House of Hardcore, I want to quickly talk about Wrestle Circus. We've been talking about this show for a while now, and it finally happened. Happened on the 17th, and I got the results for the show. Lance Hoyt defeated Hangman Adam Page. Houston Carson over Jack Stane. Rachel Ellering defeated Christy James, and she does not win the Lady of the Ring championship because she was denied her third win, so the title's still vacant. Sammy Guevara defeated Colt Cabana with a 630. Jade over Joey Ryan with Leva Bates assistance. We had Scorpio Sky, Laredo Kid, and Serpentico defeating Rocky Starks, Mr. Bailey, Aaron Solo, and Jordan Lennox. So Sky got to keep his championship. Jervis Cottonbelly and Super Cop Dick Justice defeated Gregory James and Cody Lane. The Pretty Boy Killers, Keith Lee and Shane Taylor defeated Dalton Castle's boys. ACH over Chris Hero. The War Machines beat the Best Friends. Donovan Dijak over Tessa Blanchard. Michael Elgin defeated Jeff Cobb. And in the main event, no disqualification match for the Ringmasters Championship. EC3 defeated Pentagon Jr. with a distraction from George Gatton. EC3 will defend against Michael Elgin on January 14th. And yes, shout out to Wrestle Circus for following me on Twitter. So yes.
Oh, interesting set of tweets from PWG regarding their show. Quote, just want to clear up some rumors. Nobody at Mystery Vortex 4 was asked to pull out of another show to do PWG.
Saw that.
I certainly didn't pay any promotions to let me use wrestlers that they had booked. Everyone on the show told me they were available when asked. So I don't know who was supposed to not be there or whatever. I am not sure.
All right. I do have House of Hardcore results, actually.
Right. Left.
House of Hardcore, December 16th. This was their 22nd show. The Brooklyn Brawler, now known as the Broad Street Brawler for one night only. Steve Lombardi defeated Alex Reynolds with submission. Taya defeated Jessica Havoc. Tony Nese defeated Leo Rush in his final independent wrestling match. Nese thanked the crowd with thank you, Tony chants, then thanked his best friend Alex Reynolds, and then Reynolds laid Nese out with a super kick. Dan Barry and his mystery partners, Kikitaru and Connor Braxton, defeated Vic Delicious, Eddie Kingston, and TJ Marconi. Sami Callihan over Brian Cage with the stretch muffler. Moose over Colt Cabana. John Hennigan defeated Phoenix. And inside a steel cage, Broken Matt Hardy defeated Tommy Dreamer. And then they went on the iPay-per-view from the MCW Arena in Joppa, Maryland. And December 17th for House of Hardcore 23. This was a pretty big show that had 7 big matches. Jessica Havoc defeating Taya, Eddie Kingston over Lance Anoa'i, Matt Stryker, Connor Braxton, and Kikutaru defeating Vic Delicious, Benjamin Boone, and Hale Collins. Moose over Brian Cage.
Just to add something in here. I don't know if it was on the 22 show or on the 23 show. There's a GIF that's been doing the rounds on Twitter. Apparently, Kikutaro managed to get his hands, or his feet, on a hoverboard.
Yes, that is correct.
Fell flat on his ass and had to be given the kiss of life in order to survive.
Good Lord.
Oh, Kikutaro. I really hope he comes to the UK.
Indeed. Maybe someday I'll get to see him live. I have a better chance
Perhaps
now.
that means he's going to be part of Shikara now.
Well, they need members of the roster. Something fierce.
He's been part of Shikara before for King of Trio stuff, so I'm pretty sure he'd be the right sort of fit for them to have.
And there were 3 matches left. Alex Reynolds defeating Dan Barry, Sanjay Dutt, and Brandon Scott in a fatal 4-way. Tommy Dreamer teamed up with the Sandman, defeating the Spirit Squad. And Phoenix defeated John Hennigan in the main event. So that is House of Hardcore. House of Hardcore will be returning in 2017. I believe their next show is... it's not even announced yet. Brilliant.
To be confirmed.
No, I'll take that back. Back in the former ECW Arena, South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, April 22nd, 2017, to return for their next show. So yeah, if you want tickets, houseofhardcore.net to get more information, and you can buy tickets there. No card announced as of yet. Obviously, we will be discussing that next year on the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast.
I guess. Preston City Wrestling had the 3rd night of their Ryback tour entitled Dashing Through the Snow because Cody was on it. From Bradford, we had T-Bone beat Joey Hayes by DQ. The PCW Academy kids of Alex Boylan, Dave Birch, Jenny B, and Jimmy J beat the IPW UK Academy of Kieran Donnelly, Danny Duggan, Jordan Wade, and Nick Andreas. And then the other one-on-one matches saw Danny Hope beat Sami Sahin. The Big Guy defeated Johnny Moss. Ashton Smith victorious over CJ Banks. Martin Kirby got the win over Chris Ridgway, and Cody Rhodes beat Bubblegum in the main event. PWX's season deletings, which was on pay-per-view, saw the Ugly Ducklings featuring Colby beating OI4K of the Chris Brothers and Sammy. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Anthony Henry beat Darius Lockhart. Timothy Lou Retton victorious in the 4-way over Joseph Agal. Desmond. Even Case beat Martin Stone. The Revolts managed to beat the Bravados in the no DQ final between the 2 teams. James Drake defeated Gene. Before the match, it's worth noting, was attacked prior to the match, and it was revealed that the perpetrators were Elijah Evans IV, the Tommy Tom man. David Starr retained the WXW Shotgun title, beating Chip Day. The Bruiserweights beat Jimmy Raven, Sal Rinauro. And the main event between Jake Manning and Matt Hardy ended in a no contest after a double pinfall following interference from the Revolt stable. With CWF Mid-Atlantic, the Cruise Center Clash from Saturday. Malachi Matthews beat Kane Justice. Smith Garrett got the win over John Schuyler. Dirty Daddy retained the CWF Mid-Atlantic League title against Ethan Alexander Sharp. Nick Richards beat Joshua Cutshaw. The Ultra J PWI title was on the line. Chet Sterling retaining against Roy Wilkins. The TV title was on the line as well for CWF Mid-Atlantic, as Eric Andrews successfully defended against Keith Mack. And the main event had Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee beat Eric Royal and Brad Attitude. Wrestling's one more crazy night for that, from what I can tell. All I will say is if you go to, you can get a good, it looks very good from the DVD trailer that they've done. Plus, there's a very nice little retirement, well, not retirement, but a farewell speech from Heidi Lovelace saying, you know, how they've taken to her even though she isn't even Canadian, which is fair. House of Glory. We had Leroy beat Hank. Nikki Heat got the win over Smiley, thanks to Bones and the Juggernaut attacking Smiley. Because apparently it was a coffin match. Because Smiley got to pick the stipulation. Violet beat Sonya Strong. The Tribunal with Matthew Ryan Shapiro beat TJ Marconi and the really big deal Brian Burgundy. I'm not sure who the Tribunal is in this case. I don't know whether it is Rhett Titus and Kenny King. Not sure. Ken Broadway retained the Crown Jewel title against Leo Rush. Said to be very good. Afterwards, Broadway demanded that Leroy hand him the belt. Leroy instead nailed him with it. So he's finally they announced Alberto's coming February the 18th. That's pretty soon after the UK WCW show, WCPW show, sorry. For some reason, Matthew Ryan Shapiro challenged Brian XL to a match again, so I guess that's a thing. This happened during the match, I guess, because towards the end, Brian XL came out with a mic and said he'd make a decision on whether we're having a match February the 18th. This distraction allowed Evander James to be pinned by Rude Boy Riley after a good old running knee to the face. Anthony Gangon beats Eddie Edwards of sorts. It's worth noting so that it was an interesting finish because Gangon low-blowed Edwards and covered him. Edwards managed to kick out though and turn it into a one-legged crab, and Gangon tapped. So the first ref, the original ref, ruled it as a DQ finish. So Eddie Edwards may have won the match, but he didn't win the title. The crowd apparently was chanting bullshit. Isn't very good. And the main event saw the titles against Team 3D, Private Party, and the EYFBO. Pretty good job. EYFBO nailed Private Party to get the win. Then afterwards, you know, everybody showed each other respect, obviously, because the Hardys and 3D have been at it for ages. And Bubba says, you know, New York's a special place, and not only are he and Devon from here, but in a little place called Madison Square Garden, The Hardys and the Dudleys did battle, and they've been tearing down New York for 16 years, right through to tonight. And that he's proud of when you talk about the great rivalries, you always talk a little bit about Dudleys versus Hardys. And Matt said he wanted to thank House of Glory for putting together what might be the final ever. They wanted to celebrate, and how Brother Devon is going to work for Vince McMahon. But he will see Devon again one day because he will delete Vince. And Devon said, make it clear that I did not say that. It's been a pleasure and an honor to do it one more time. I've won titles with my brother and making history with Edge and Christian and the Hardys. We're proud that they stole the show 2 years in a row at WrestleMania with TLC, and that he's happy working behind the scenes in WWE now. And if it's his last match, he's happy. This is where it was, and that he was in the ring with the Bubba and the Hardys. And for what may be the last time. Oh, my brother, testify. Then cover Shine Wrestling quickly. In the Shine Sparkle Showcase match, Kira Hardy Snow. Jessie Bell Smothers beat Brandy. Stormy Lee versus Lever. Worth noting, Lever was dressed as Negan from The Walking Dead.
All those pictures.
Lever did win with the Pepsi plunge. She did the deal. She did the deal. Malaya Hasaka defeats Priscilla Kelly. Candy Cartwright gets the win over Ariel Monroe. I don't know who Candy Cartwright is. I probably should. Then for the tag titles, Bloody Santana and Raquel beat Jamie Jameson and Marty Bell to win the belt. Raquel is a champion of somewhere. No. Allison Kay got the victory over Tessa Blanchard, which was a pretty damn good match. Because obviously, right at the start, they teased about, Tessa was saying, you and me, Allison, we were tag partners together in Valkyrie. And Allison goes, it was for one day because you came in and split up. And then Tessa throws up the pinky and whatever, which just incenses Allison up. So that's good. In the Monsters Ball match, Sue Young beats Vanessa Craven. Pretty crazy match from what I can tell. And then in the 8-woman tag, Las Sicarias win. Evilise, Mercedes Martinez, and Taya Trinidad and Amanda Carolina Rodriguez, beating C4 of Lufisto, Amber O'Neill, Andrew, and Kennedy Brink. Because of the way it fell, quite literally, it was Andrea that got hit with a moonsault from Taya Trinidad and a spinning round kick from Evilise. So Andrea is gone. I don't know whether to say good riddance or not. It sounds harsh. But she hadn't done a lot of great things since that I've seen her in since. So perhaps so. I don't know. And then I think that's it. In terms of the shows this weekend, there's only really one. It's the Dragon Gate Japan Christmas show, The Final Gate. Might as well run through the entire card of 7 matches because there's nothing else to go through.
Okay.
We've got a 6-man with Gamma, Punch Tominaga, and Shakihoko Boy versus Jimmy K-Ness, JKS, the Hollywood Stalker, Ishikawa, and Yosuke Santa Maria. Masaki Mochizuki and Don Fuji team up to take on Takahiro Yamamura and Kaito Ishida. Another tag match as BB Hulk and Crazy take on Big R and Jimmy Susumu. And then your title matches. The Open Brave Gate title sees Aita defending against Jimmy Kagetora. The Triangle Gate belts on the line with Genki Horiguchi, H.A. Jimmy, Ryo Jimmy Saito, and Jimmy Kanda, taking on both the teams of Masato Yoshino, Kotoka, and Benkei, and also Cyber Kong, Monday Ryu, and El Lindemann. The Twin Gate belts defended by Chima and Dragon Kid against Shingo Takagi and T-Hawk. And then the Dream Gate Championship, Yamato, one-on-one with Naruki Doi. Doi, 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 doi. And other assorted noises.
Okay.
I'm still trying to find Dave's news. I don't think it's coming. This is annoying.
I think that's the show then.
So I guess we'll have to cover up for the fact that there's no indie shows happening over Christmas. Probably be Bumper Dave next week in terms of the news. Because there's probably stuff I don't know about that's in the newsletter.
One piece of information that I had listed, the person that was thrown through a door by Braun Strowman on Raw was Noah Lott. He's an indie worker trained by Dan Severn. He worked as an operations supervisor for Dan Severn's promotion, Price of Glory, in Coldwater, Michigan. And that's the only news I have left. So I think that's the end of the show.
Wow.
Look and see if
We went
there's
shorter.
new. Yes.
We went shorter, even though we spent an hour and a half talking about delete.
Yes. So that's the show. Wrestling fans, join us again on Monday for Raw. And we are on the road to the Royal Rumble. Oh my God. Real quick, throw out shout outs. Thank you to Jeremy Mills for being in chat tonight. I saw Timbo in chat tonight. There's some new people in chat tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thanks everyone for the thumbs up. We truly appreciate that. Thank you for sticking in while Ashley and I talked about TNA for almost 2 hours. But it was good talk. As always, follow the other associates of the Popcast Network, Mr. Entertainment at Mr. ENT92, and Cleveland, Henry at Contro Cleve, and also other members of the Elite that you'll see on this network every once in a while, and that would be Miller at Miller McGinn, MCGHIN, and of course, Great Traveling Scott with his Dashboard Confessionals coming back to Raw Monday night. That's going to be at Great Traveling Scott, which is GR8 Trav, TRAVLN Scott. And of course, as always, a big shout out to Acer at Acer37, yes in a row. And that's where you can find all the podcasts you should listen to, wrestling and or otherwise. Links to everyone's YouTube channels, or in this case, Aaron, Acer, Cleveland, and Scott, are in the description bar. And Ashley.
Find me on Twitter, Ash's My Name UK. I'll probably do something, whether it's gaming, I probably won't do a stream for Christmas, but I might do anyway. But I'll probably do some sort of video looking back on some of the highs and lows properly of the year, rather than actual sort of game awards where there's already a list established.
Right.
And looking ahead to some of the stuff in 2017, if I can remember. To put it into the list.
Okay. Quick programming note about the network this week. So, Sip and Snack coming up tomorrow, unless something else comes up, and it might, you never know. For Festivus, we got AJ's Movie Reviews, which is going to be bringing you a whole lot of grievances in Passengers, Sing, Assassin's Creed, as well as Why Him. That's going to be coming up on Saturday. Will be the final video I have from Orlando from 2016, the room review of the Royal Pacific that I stayed at with Darren and Howard and his dad. That was really fun for the closing weekend of Halloween Horror Nights. And on Sunday, Versus is going to get animated. And Monday at 11:30 p.m. or close to 11:30 as we can, probably about 11:15, 11:20. Ashley and myself, along with possible special guests, are going to be joining you for the WWE Monday Night Raw Popcast. That's going to be coming your way next Wednesday, 9 p.m., the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. talking all things independent wrestling and also the world of wrestling at large. Sip and Stack returns on Thursday. And yes, it is almost here for our final Academy Awards predictions, where we're going to do 2 videos. We're going to hit every other category in the first one, and then we're going to hit the Big 8 in the second one. And Ashley, AJ, and myself are going to be bringing you our predictions of all the categories. That's going to be coming up the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for more on that. So a lot of cool things coming from the Popcast Network in 2017. New merchandise going to be available after the first of the year. Check out what we have now. Zazzle at Popcast Network. Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. We're almost at 200 likes. Thank you so much for liking our Facebook fan page. We truly appreciate it. Follow us along on Twitter at Popcast Network, and that would be our Patreon as well if you really want to show support. It's at Popcast Network. In the meantime, follow me on Twitter at Siro and Disney. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more this evening you have chosen the Popcast. Thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Merry Christmas. Delete, 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 delete.